Good evening. Welcome to the Select Board meeting of Tuesday, August 11th, 2026 at 7 p.m. At this time, if you could join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. What's over there? Wait. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at 7 p.m. we have a public hearing for National Grid Verizon jointly owned poll petition, 160 Vale Street, number 31330855. Is there anyone here from National Grid to speak on that?
That's me.
Okay, and your name, sir?
David Boucher, Senior Designer, National Grid, 1101 Turnpike Street, North Andover. Tonight I'm before you to ask for a new poll, 20-1, as shown on the diagram we've provided, to provide electricity and utilities to number 160 Vale Street. And if the town approves it, we can go forward with placing that pole as shown.
Okay. Thank you very much. At this time, open up to the board. Mr. Russo?
Just based on the diagram, I mean, it looks like this pole is on the road, but I think that's not the way it's intended to be. Is that correct?
It's not the way, I can't hear you.
Well, I'm just trying to understand. So the property line on Vale Street, abuts obviously the road, but and I don't believe there's a sidewalk there to my knowledge anyway. Mr. Kravin has a diagram of the property.
There you go.
Okay. All right. That makes more sense now. Okay. All right. That answers my question, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Kravin?
Yeah, I Googled it, brought it up. From what I can see, there's at least three new homes that have been built out there, and I got some photos of it since June of 2026. And it's just, there's no sidewalk. It's just cleared area with a couple of new homes, new driveways, the pole on the other side of the street. So it looks like you're bringing these poles over to here to bring power to that side to power up these homes that are out there.
Yep.
Yeah, as usual, there isn't any sidewalks that's existing right now, but in the future, we always look forward to trying to put sidewalks in. This area probably not on the highest priority. They focus on the main streets and senior centers and schools and those type of things, but in the future they may. So I always make the comment, please set it back as set the pole back that if the town of Tewksbury decides to put sidewalks in there, we don't have to move the pole. So if there's a way to put it back, the 5 feet, to be able to make sure it gives us the room to be able to put that sidewalk in there, saves you some time, saves us some time for us to ask you to move it in the future.
Yep, place it there and keep it as close as possible to the property line where it meets the public. Yep.
That's all I ask you for. Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Mackey?
Thank you. I don't have a lot of questions. I will say that that distance being at least 5 feet is actually one of the DPW's recommendations, and when this is approved, I would request that we include all of these into the determination. Other than that, I have no questions.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Lombardo?
I have none. Mine was set around whether or not there's a sidewalk.
Okay.
That was addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo, and the chair doesn't have any questions. Those have been asked and answered. At this time, any residents seeing a public hearing, anyone have any questions on the matter? Seeing none.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Kratman. Second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing portion is closed. At this time, for a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve National Grid poll petition 160 for Vale Street with the DPW recommendations as presented this evening.
Motion by Mr. Russo.
Second.
Second by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And the next is National Grid Verizon jointly owned poll petition 168 Vale Street, number 31330850.
Again, Dave Boucher, National Grid. This one's very much like the last one. We're asking for a poll on the opposite side of the road where our pole line is on Vale Street, and it's pole number 22-2. It's the neighboring property to number 160, which is being serviced from the first pole that I spoke on. It would enable us to go forward and provide utilities to the new home that's going there. And as we spoke earlier, we'll keep it as the 5-foot minimum off the pavement as suggested.
Okay, thank you. At this time, I open the board. Mr. Lombardo?
I have no questions. I'm assuming there's no sidewalk.
Okay.
That's it.
Mr. Mackey?
No questions, same request to ensure we incorporate the 4 conditions from the DPW. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman?
Yeah, I got no problem with the poll petition, but I just have a question. Just when I was looking at this, this poll petition is for 168 Vail and 176 Vail. So 176 seems to be a little bit further back off the edge line, and so you're going to be able to run the wires, to both new homes from that distance from the corner. There's not going to be a need for an additional pole to get down there?
I don't know what the plan is for 176. I'm not aware of,
It's in the application, it says for both.
it does?
Yeah, it
Okay.
says for both addresses, that's why. It says, for 2 new homes, 168 Vail and 176 Vail.
Looks kind of hard to reach 176 from that position we're asking
That was my
for.
concern.
Yeah. I'm not sure why it was worded that way. I can't explain that, sorry. All I know is it is to service 168. If it included 176, unless we're going to place some poles on the property, we're obviously not asking for more poles on this petition to service 176.
Okay, I'm just, like I said, I would love to grant it, I just want to, it's just not very clear to me. And looking at the angle of where it's going in, I could see the house there on the diagram, shows 2 new homes out there as of June. I don't see the third, but I don't know if something has changed since then.
Mr. Kratman, the item, I don't know if it's necessarily just the memo that DPW did, but if you look, it specifically states only 168 Vale Street in the application from National Grid. I think DPW may have preemptive looked at 176 with the new house being built there.
Okay.
But this is specifically for 168.
I'm just curious, was that our paperwork that
No,
said
this was from the DPW, so I'm
Okay.
assuming they looked at both parcels while they were out there.
Yeah, it says in the thing, the new pole is to be installed to bring electrical service to 2 new homes, 168 and 176. So that's where the confusion came in.
Right,
And I
right.
looked at the map to see where 176 was, and like I said, it looks like it's a sizable distance to be pulling
It is,
wires
yeah.
across there.
Yeah.
But, if this is just for 168, then I'll be fine with it, and
Okay.
if you need to come back for 176, then we'll deal with it at that point. So
Thank
I'm
you.
good, Mr.
All
Chairman,
right,
thank you.
thank you. Mr. Russo?
No questions.
No questions? And the chair doesn't have any questions either. Any members of the audience have any questions on this poll petition? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to close the public hearing. So moved. Motion by Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Mackey. All in favor? Aye. Okay, at this time, I'll request a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the poll petition for 168 Vale Street with the 4 conditions from, per the DPW.
Motion by Mr. Russo, seconded by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 5-0. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Our next public hearings are not till 7:25, so we will move on. We will go to town council invoices and then come back to that when the time is 7:25. Mr. Curran?
Mr. Chairman, we have one invoice from Feely and Brown for services rendered through July 1st, from July 1st, 2026 through July 15th, in the amount of $4,037.50.
Open up to the board. Mr. Lobato, any questions?
I can go on second. No questions.
No questions? Mr. Mackey?
I have no questions.
No questions. Mr. Kratman?
I have no questions. It seems that, yeah, this covers just a 2-week period. Yep, I'm all
Okay,
set.
Mr. Russo?
I'll make a motion to approve the town invoice as presented from July 1st to the 15th, for $4,037.50.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Russo, second by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. At this time, we'll move on to approval of minutes.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve June 30th, 2026 meeting minutes as they are.
Motion by Ms. Lobato, second by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
And I'll like,
Unanimous?
nope, great. And I'd like to make a motion to approve July 14th, 2026 meeting minutes as they are.
Okay, motion by the clerk,
I'll second that motion.
second by Mr. Kratman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to abstain.
Abstain? Okay. 4 approval, 1 abstention. Okay, thank you. At this time, we have a little bit of time. We'll go to Town Manager.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So just an update on a few items. Just to inform people, there's a roadway infrastructure scans will be happening and being conducted by Apex Companies. He's planning to begin their data collection phase of roadway pavement. And this is done so that we can update our roadway management plan. And it's a process that we basically grade the condition of the roads so that we can make sure that our roadway management plan has a schedule that reflects the roads that have the greatest need first. Firefighter off-duty firefighter Captain Sean Carney of Tewksbury Fire Department quickly took charge when a fire broke out aboard the dive restaurant boat on Lake Winnipesaukee. Carney was a 31-year veteran of the Tewksbury Fire Department. He jumped into action when he smelled the fire, helping evacuate patrons and crew, ensuring everyone's safety. While the restaurant was destroyed, Carney, along with everyone else on board, made it out safely. Kudos to him and thank you for his service, even when he's not in Tewksbury and not on duty. LNG vaporizer upgrade. National Grid is upgrading the vaporizer system at the Tewksbury LNG facility to enhance safety and reliability. In operation since 1968, the facility's vaporization system is outdated and will be replaced without interrupting service. This upgrade will ensure continued reliable service, especially during peak winter demands, and all work will occur within National Grid's property between 7 and 5 p.m. And construction starts in August of 26, with project completion expected in the spring of 2028. Increased delivery and activities may be noticed during that period. Notification of this work has been mailed to the abutting properties owned by National Grid. Flock is on the agenda for later on, so I'll leave that out. Melmark 910 River Road certificate of occupancy has been signed by the building commissioner for Melmark concerning their project at 910 River Road. The intermunicipal agreement is being amended by the engineer. It's actually on the agenda tonight, and that will be covered later on. New net metering credits. In an effort to save money, we've been looking into acquiring more net metering credits as a means to pay utility bills. The credits would allow us to pay utility bills at a 10% discount. We currently have a contract with Sincarfa through the town of Chelmsford, in which we purchase credits at a 25% discount, and that was a deal that was done many years ago. With energy costs rising, any savings that can be secured on our bills will go a long way for the town. In FY26, the town paid $205,000 to National Grid instead of $273,000 for savings of $68,373. So that was with the current Sincarfa agreement that we have. The new net metering agreement has a potential savings of $176,000 annually over a 20-year period, roughly $3.5 million. So we're in the middle of executing that agreement, but that will help save the town some money. Just as a point of information, Massachusetts Senate Bill 3178 was put forward to address the state's housing crisis. It's a new piece of legislation. An act relative to economic development in the Commonwealth has been brought forward. It mandates by right two-families zoning on residential lots, streamlining commercial to residential conversions, and accelerating project reviews. The town is watching the progress of this bill closely. In this office, we'll see if this bill has any significant support and report back to the board. Because that would be a significant change in local zoning. And sort of on top of that, there's a bill that's been referred to informally as the God in My Backyard bill. Does not appear to have a lot of support in the House, in the Senate. That's a bill where religious entities could convert by right properties to housing. West Nile virus, the mosquito pool in Tewksbury tested positive for West Nile virus. Targeting mosquito spraying occurred on Thursday, August 6th from 8:30 p.m. to midnight in areas across town. A code red call went out to all affected areas. If any residents wish to request spraying on their own property, they can call Central Mass Mosquito Control, and that number is 508-393-3055. Whipple and Pines were anticipated all way three-stop. Control start date would be on August 18th. So I know it's been publicized on social media and online to let people know that that change is coming. So look for that on August 18th. And I'll leave the preview of the articles for fall town meeting because it's on the agenda. And that's all I have.
Okay. At this time, open up to the board questions to the town manager. Mr. Mackey.
No questions, thank you.
Mr. Krapp.
Just a couple of questions. The net metering credits sounds like a great deal, but we got a 25% discount through Chelmsford when we purchased the credits, and now we get a 10% discount? There's not anything else there that's any better?
No, the market's much more competitive than it used to be. That deal was done, I think, 6 or 7 years ago. That was a smaller amount of kilowatts, but it was a good discount. And right now, the going rate in the market is 10%. So we tried for 12.5, but we were only able to get 10.
Okay. I appreciate you keeping a track on some of these bills because they would, changing the housing, the state's put in a lot of different rules and regulations of what's going on. And that is a great concern of building by right in different areas and changing certain areas over. So I appreciate keeping a track on that. You mentioned the West Nile virus. Have you been in touch with the schools to make sure, I'm sure the parents would be, we're getting to that time of year, the kids are going to be going back to school. So if we can find out, like, if they're going to spray around, I'm sure they are. But it'd be nice to, if you can touch base with the superintendent and say we sprayed before the kids are going to get up and be heading back to school. That would probably give the parents a little bit more assurance as well.
Okay, I'll reach out to superintendent and see if they need any spraying around their facilities.
The kids get back into school and it seems like they hit it running. It's like they're in school, they're back at the fields, they're getting ready for sports and all those activities that will be going on. So just, I know we spray, but having that extra notification to the parents, putting something out that say, we're doing this to make them feel a little bit better.
Okay.
I did see the notification that they found it in Tewksbury, so
Okay.
that was something to be doing. Other than that, I think I am good, so thank you for the update.
Mr. Russo?
Just one point of clarification. Did you say the Pine Whipple intersection stop sign, four-way stop is starting next Monday,
August 18th.
on the 18th? Okay.
Yeah.
And I saw the notification, so, okay, just wanted to make sure, because I knew we were going to go out with some advertisement beforehand, and that's,
So they have, yeah, they've
18th,
been
yep.
putting it out there. I don't know if, has anyone been by there to see if there's if one of the
Yeah.
digital signs is out there?
yeah, I have not been, but I
Yeah.
don't see them, what you're referring to, so, but I've seen it on the social media.
Okay, good.
Perfect. That's all I have, Mr. Ryder.
Okay. Mr. Curran, what was the area, do you know, that tested positive for the,
I don't know the exact, I'll get back to you on that, but I'll get back to you.
okay, yep, okay. Mr. Lombardo, do you have any questions?
No questions, just want to recognize Fire Captain Sean Carney for his heroism. I know most of us probably saw that on the news, and even when these guys are off duty, they're always doing their work, so thank you.
All right, thank you. And one other question, Ms. Curran, do you know the timeline on how long that reconstruction of that intersection before the winter? You think
For the, which one? For
four-way?
Yeah, let me get I'll get a timeline for you as well.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions for the town manager before we move on? It is, I would say close enough.
Yeah.
Okay, next on the agenda, we'll go back to public hearings. This evening, we have 6 show cause hearings for alcohol violations. I will read the guidelines, and I will only request the board to only dispense a reading once, because it is pretty lengthy. There will be an opening hearing. We will identify the cause. There'll be an evidentiary phase. Each party has a right to be represented by a person of his or her choice. No person shall address the board unless recognized by the chair. Each party will have the opportunity to present facts orally and submit a document. The rule of evidence observed by the court will not be observed. Only evidence introduced at this hearing and made part of the record shall be considered by the board in making a decision. Any person who wishes to speak will, when recognized, rise, address the chair, give his or her name and address, and then proceed. The police department will proceed first and present its case and may then question the licensee representative by the board and town council. The chair will then allow licensee to represent its defense, and the police department may cross-examine the licensee witness. After recognizing by the chair, members of the board may direct appropriate questions during the hearing. The chair will have the discretion to vary the order of testimony, expedite the hearing, and to focus on specific issues or facts. The testimony should not be repetitious, irrelevant, or immaterial. The police and the licensee, if they wish, make a brief summary of the evidence. When the evidence portion of the hearing is completed, the board will vote to close the evidentiary portion of the hearing. There will be a deliberation phase. The evidentiary portion of the hearing will be closed. The board will not receive any further comments or documents. The board will then deliberate and vote whether or not a violation took place. Then there will be a penalty phase. The board will deliberate to any penalty, for example, warning, modification, suspension, or revocation of the license. The police may make a recommendation with reason. The licensee may make a recommendation with reasons. The police representative and licensee may mutually agree to a single recommendation to present before the board. The board will then make a decision as to the penalty. Okay, with the first show cause hearing, it will be, so I will read this as protocol. My name is Eric Ryder, Chair of the Select Board, and I will preside in this hearing for Main Street Grill, 1268 Main Street, located in Tewksbury, Mass. Is there a representative from, please come forward. If you could just give your name and who you're representing?
Vishal Sharma, Main Street Sports Grill.
Okay? Okay, at this time, we'll allow the police chief to present the facts.
All right, good evening. Mr. Chair, members of the board, thank you. First, I want to say for all of these, I'm disappointed that we're here and we have 6 violations. What I'd like to see and what the goal really is no violations. We're not a police department that is looking for gotcha moments. We want these businesses to thrive and do well. However, when you're selling alcohol, there's a responsibility, to make sure it doesn't get into the hands of minors. So I think that it's important to know that we post on our social media that we're doing these checks prior to doing the checks. We hand deliver a letter to each alcohol establishment telling them we're coming to do a check to make sure that you're not selling to anyone under 21, okay? We're handing them that letter. Additionally, we're emailing these folks, everybody that's on the list for the alcohol license, a PowerPoint presentation that we created to show them exactly what we do, why we do it, and why it's important not to sell alcohol to someone under 21. There's no tricks. It's someone in this case was 19 years of age, just goes to this establishment and tries to buy alcohol. There's no fake ID, there's no tricks, there's no disguises, and all the establishment has to do is say, may I have your ID? If that happens, they pass, the individual leaves. If the individual is able to purchase the alcohol, it's a violation. That individual leaves, the officer comes in and has a conversation with them. So in this case, and I can get into more detail if they don't stipulate to the facts, but I will tell you that on May 26, 2026, at approximately 6:12 p.m., a 19-year-old entered Main Street Sports Grill at 1268 Main Street and was served alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay.
And you have my recommendation. Certainly, if there are more questions, I'm happy to answer them. If you need more detail, we can get into that. But again, I think in the past, they've asked, you
At this
stipulate
time,
to the
we'll,
facts.
I'll ask the licensee, do you agree to the facts of the finding? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. At this time, I'll open it up to board members for any questions, whether it be for the licensee or the police chief. We'll start with Mr. Lombardo.
Yeah, I guess the first question is, what happened?
Is it okay if I speak? My name is Neha Paul. I was there when it happened. I know it should not have happened. I'm really sorry that it happened. Our number one priority is making sure our people are safe, the town is safe, our kids are safe. And I agree with the officer, they sent the letter and I was there when I received the letter, I'm going to be honest. We took over Main Street on May 12th, and it was our second week. There was a lot going on at that time. We were taking over, a lot going on, and we took over previous employees. So it was one of the previous experienced bartender. But that happened. After that happened, I made sure we had a staff meeting. I got everyone tip certified. I made sure this is not going to happen again. We're trying, putting the signs up. The signs are everywhere. We're working on getting the machine where we get our, ID check. It will not happen again. I'm trying my best not to happen. It just happened. It should not have happened. I totally agree. Because all I have to say, because we were new, we were learning phase, we were training mode. The previous owners were still there. We were in the training mode. Everything was happening all at once. It was our second week taking over the business. And I just request that we get a second chance and it won't happen again.
Okay.
Well, I appreciate your accountability on that and the action steps you took as far as, having a staff meeting and putting signs up around and making sure
Tips. I
everyone's
got
trained
everyone tip
properly.
certified.
Before, people were not tip certified, bartenders were not tip certified, so we have everybody request everybody to do the tip
So my
certificate,
bartenders are tip certified. Yeah.
whatever. you can do.
Okay, good. That's the only question I have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mackey.
Thank you. So I appreciate the recap. I was actually trying to look up because I know you guys have taken over recently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I know there's a lot going on. It's not,
Yes.
that doesn't make it okay.
Yes, no excuse.
However, I am happy to hear that you've worked on tip certification, you are getting the ID scanner, because that's always one of my first questions when we have a violation, because it takes the human element out of it. Makes it very easy. So I don't have any additional questions. I can empathize, but it unfortunately doesn't change the situation. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman?
I appreciate your efforts to make the changes, but I also remember when you first came in here. You came with the previous owners. We talked about the relationship with the community, how they've worked to do that. And I specifically brought up at that meeting, we're going to do this. The town does it every single year. They're going to send somebody out, sign up for the trainings, do all the things that I can't imagine the police department doing any more other than to say, hey, listen, we got somebody who's going to try to buy alcohol. Don't serve them. Because they tell you they're coming, they send you notifications, they do everything that, there's no trickery whatsoever. They're just trying to make sure everybody's in compliance. And, and that's the hard part. I can emphasize I can understand that you have employees that may not listen, because hiring employees and training them, and you may want to do your due diligence, but having employees actually follow through with that is something that we take seriously. Has there been any disciplinary action to the people or anything that's followed up to? Because, a lot of places, they tell their people, if you serve, you will no longer be working here.
That's what we addressed that in the next time,
Staff meeting.
the staff meeting that happened.
So everyone knows, the signs are everywhere, even at the register.
think
This can't happen again.
It's our first time owning a restaurant, so I was still, piled up with the recipes and stuff, very busy on the other side, I couldn't, knew that happened, that soon, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I understand that, but you came in here in May,
Yeah.
you granted the license, and 2 months later, you're in front of us, and we brought it up. We told you then. So, it's just something that, the board's going to make a decision on tonight's,
Yeah.
but, we're saying it again. This cannot continue. So, when we came in, you made the same statement that we were going to do the training, we're going to make sure everyone's going to have the things, but yet you're in front of us. So I just want to make sure that you understand
Yes.
that, we'll give something tonight, we'll just make a decision, but after that, it goes up even more.
Yeah.
So if there's a second incident, then it gets a lot more punishment for it, so. there's-
My staff knows, that's it, there's no second chance,
Yep,
that it's not acceptable.
I appreciate that. All
We
right,
have done staff meeting every morning before their shifts. I make sure we're IDing everyone. I'm around there all day, making sure even if there's kids around, personally, I'm there, making sure my bartenders are doing what they're supposed to do.
okay, thank you, I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kratman. Mr. Russo?
Thank you. I won't relitigate things my colleagues have said, but I appreciate the efforts that you've made to bounce back from this. I personally don't mind being carded when I go to any establishment,
Yeah.
so feel free to card me anytime. But no, I appreciate the efforts. I know it's not easy, and I appreciate the steps that you're taking, so thank you.
Thank you, and I'll agree with my colleagues. This is, the police department does a phenomenal job with this.
They
They
do.
basically tell you, we're coming,
Yeah.
this is the time we're coming, so,
I think because it was our second week, it was just, they did their best. They made sure that message was conveyed, but it's not an
and I
excuse.
appreciate you getting, everyone tip certified and looking towards the ID machine. That is going to be critical to the success
Yeah.
and not seeing you back here again. So, thank you. At this time is a public hearing. Does anyone in the audience like to speak on the matter? Seeing none, I'll ask a motion to,
I'll make a motion to close the,
Just say, I was a customer before and after.
could you just go to the mic and give your name, sir?
John Ellis, I'm a Tewksbury resident. I was a customer of Main Street before and after, and seeing the changes that they made, they had just mentioned that this was going on, and I just wanted to come to make a point that, like, those changes are real. The signs are up. If I'm sitting there, an older guy comes in, he's getting carded, and the changes are noticeable already. So I just really, as a customer from before and after, the culture is already better, and they are making a very positive change. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other residents like to speak? Okay, seeing none.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, we'll look for a recommendation from the board.
Could we hear a recommendation from the chief?
Yeah, Chief, if you would not mind.
Yes, my recommendation is, as you know, the board knows that you can issue a reprimand up to a 7-day suspension. My recommendation is a 1-day suspension of the liquor license with 2 days being held in abeyance for a period of 36 months. 36 months would be the time frame it would be considered a second offense if they had a violation during that time. If they have a violation within the 36 months, the 2 days held in abeyance would then trigger, and then you would have to consider a second offense.
Okay. Thank you, Chief.
Well, I'll make a motion to follow the chief's recommendations of a 1-day, well, 3-day suspension with 2 in abeyance, which would end up in a 1-day suspension of the lost liquor license, as recommended by the police chief.
We have a motion by Mr. Kratman. I'll second that. Second by Mr. Russo. All in.
Question through to the town manager. Is the correct verbiage a 1-day suspension with 2 days held in abeyance as opposed to a 3-day suspension with 2 days held in abeyance?
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a 3-day suspension with 1 day served and 2 days held in abeyance.
Okay, fair. Thank you.
Okay. So we have motion and second. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay, that's 5-0. Thank you very much.
Do we have to select a date for should we select a date now, Mr. Town Manager, or? I think that's what we've done in the
Specific
past.
date, or you want to make sure, just specify that it's either a Monday or a Friday or a Saturday? Would you have a day of the week you want to do?
If I may, historically, those have usually been handled through the town manager's office. When we get through the slate, we hand it off to the town manager's office to coordinate a date that is consistent across any open violations.
And then he just gives us a memo
Just
back.
as a point of information for the board, I will, assuming that these are all very similar, I will pick a similar day, stagger them across a period of time so that each one of these violations serves the same type of day.
Okay.
Not one serves, Christmas Eve and one serves, Monday in the middle of January,
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. And the town manager's office will be in touch with you in regards to the day of the suspension. Okay? Thank you. And the next show cause hearing, it would be Smitty's Liquors, 1091 Main Street. I'll just go through this. My name is Eric Ryder, Chair of the Board of Selectmen, and I will be presiding over the hearing for Smitty's Liquors, 1091 Main Street, located in Tewksbury, Mass. If you can give your name, please.
Is it on? Dean Graffio, owner of Smitty's Liquors.
Okay. Chief Columbus?
I'll just, again, I have general facts. If you need additional facts, or they don't stipulate to the facts, I have those as well. On Tuesday, May 26th, 2026, at approximately 6:23 PM, a 19-year-old entered Smitty's Liquors at 1091 Main Street and purchased alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay. Mr. Graffio, do you agree to the facts of
Yes.
the hearing?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up to the board. Mr. Mackey?
I guess I will just ask Mr. Graffio what happened.
My clerk, who was a thorough, hardworking guy, it was a lapse of judgment. The gentleman did not ask for identification. It is our store policy to ask for identification, and I'll even go a step further. I echo the chief's comments about communicating with us in May and June. As you guys know, a lot of you, I even coach at the high school level. I understand the importance of underage. I don't just do that in May and June when they're coming around. I stress it to my staff. I'm embarrassed I'm here. I'm angry I'm here. The gentleman had a lapse in judgment. I reviewed the film with him. I suspended him 2 days without pay. We came back. I asked him if he still wanted to continue working. We went over the importance of this can't happen again. This is our policy. And we agreed that if for some reason it did happen again, that he would have to, leave the job. It's tough to talk to someone and say, he's getting a minimum wage, and here I am telling him I'm going to fire him. So, but he needs to do his job, and I stress that, and we take full accountability. This is my first time in front of you in 8.5 years since I've had my license. There's not much more I can really say. That's pretty much my synopsis.
I appreciate that. Sounds like you've taken all the appropriate steps. Are there any other plans, anything else you'd like to?
I have I put a big Post-it note at the point of purchase before you even hit submit. Identification required, everybody. I already have signage up. I have all the chief signs. I stress it. It's not like we allow this. I apologize. I don't know what I can do, without me physically being in there, taking that identification. I have to sometimes, you have to allow the workers, but, we're not like a fly-by-night, like everyone just come on in and get it. It's just, it does happen. You're only as good as your workers, right? So I'm not there 24/7.
Yeah, so
I do apologize for that. And, we take our medicine and we learn, and all I can do now is just move forward and we need identification.
I appreciate that. The only recommendation I would make is something I say every time we have one of these, which is if you don't have one of the integrated scanners for your point of sale system for the ID, I would look into that, but that's the only recommendation.
Okay, I actually looked up, and I have an app on my hardware that I could install that you can't sell the item unless you scan the identification. The only drawback I see is now I possess the information of the consumer, and there's a whole about protecting that information now that I've got it in my system. That specific app keeps all that information. So, because I was like psyched when I saw it, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. And then I was reading up on it, and I saw the review. I'm like, oh, you know what? I better hold off on that. But I could get one of the systems that just doesn't do that as well. But I will look into that.
Yeah, because I know that you definitely don't want to be responsible for retaining that information. There are solutions.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to do that. Again, and I feel like I'm not a store that has 8 registers. We use 1 register. The second one gets used 2 days a year. So I feel like it's pretty simple. This is one point of purchase. Just ask for the identification. And that's, I tried, man. I'm trying.
Understood.
Yep.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman.
I have no comments. Like I said, I think he's answered all the questions that I'd asked.
Okay. Mr. Russo.
Same. Mr. Rutherford. What you're doing.
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lombardo.
I don't have any, but, I do recognize that you seem sincere about this and that you have taken accountability and have actions that happened after that. And I think that deserves some recognition, and let's just hope it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Again, Ms. Graffio, I know, I know you're a coach in town, and I know what's preached to the kids, and I know this one's a tough one. Things happen, but your actions moving forward, and it's tough when you have an employee that you have to discipline, but hopefully that will make this individual just be a little bit more aware sometimes.
I should say he cried and was remorseful when he saw the film. He was shocked. I've seen this gentleman ID all the time. carry out our policy. He was truly rattled. That's why he accepted the 2 days, and yeah, it was good. It wasn't like he was like, oh, okay. He was very remorseful.
Well, I
If that's
appreciate you taking the steps and the ability to make sure that this doesn't happen again. At this time, we have, it's a public hearing. Any questions from, comments from residents of the audience? Seeing none?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public hearing closed. Chief Columbus.
It'll be the same recommendation. So it's a 3-day with one being served, 2 held in abeyance for 36 months.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Okay, so we have a recommendation from the chief. Do we have in that form of a motion from someone?
I'll make a motion to follow the chief's recommendation of a 3-day suspension, 1 day served, 2 days in abeyance as recommended by the police chief.
Okay, we have a recommendation motion by Mr. Kratman.
I'll second.
A second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 5-0. All set. Thank you, Mr. Graffio. Okay, next, we have Andy's Convenience, 420 Reuben Street. Just we'll go through the language. Good evening, my name is Eric Ryder, Chair of the Select Board, and I will be presiding over the hearing for Andy's Convenience Store, 420 Reuben Street, Tewksbury, Mass. At this time, we'll bring the Chief Columbus up.
Thank you. On Tuesday, May 26, 2026, at approximately 7:03 p.m., a 19-year-old entered Andy's Convenience Store at 420 Woburn Street and purchased alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Columbus. Do you agree to the findings?
Yes, we agree.
You do? Okay. Thank you. At this time, I'll open it up to the board. We'll start with Mr. Russo.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll start like my colleagues have. I mean, can you just maybe kind of take us through your perspective and what happened in the situation and maybe what you've done to maybe help rectify it?
Yeah, actually, on the day, there was an incident was happened like a few days ago.
If you could just pull that mic a little closer to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So there was an incident happened a few days ago. So where was my family? We're taking care of something, an incident for a fire accident. So I was in the moment I never wanted to do that, the same thing to any of the guy. I don't want to, who wanted to do that? So I really corrected my mistake after next to that. And I really don't wanted to make the things happen really in that way. So I was accepting my mistake. So I've been taking a lot of a test again, a TIPS test, and taken care of a lot of IDs from the next second of the day. And I was working on what I can do from next second.
Okay.
So I just want to let you, sorry.
No, go ahead, sir.
Let you know, my all staff was TIP certified, but I make them again, they did again, the TIP certified. And also we improve in our register. We just find out that in our there's a software, we can just have it all alcohol and tobacco. Whenever we scan, it will pop up the screen saying ask for ID. So we did it since these things happens. So until that, if they have to scan ID or they have to enter the birth date. Otherwise the screen won't skip. They cannot skip it.
Okay. Okay.
So maybe just a question maybe for the police chief. So I know, and Mr. Mackey has brought up the use of scanners a couple times, and I know a lot of restaurants and businesses have them to prevent, and again, I know you had stated in the beginning that, there was no trickery involved here, there was no fake identification presented or anything like that. However, on the off chance that a minor, may try to use fake identification, these scanners, these systems, I feel like the technology of some of these fake IDs and where these kids get them from are so sophisticated these days.
Yeah.
Can these scanners really pick?
The law is this. This is for the business owners, that if they ask for ID and can reasonably rely on it, they're not in violation.
Okay.
They're just not, because of that reason. So, but asking for the ID, once you do that, if you get it and receive it, and it's reasonable,
Yep.
they're off the hook essentially.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Okay.
No further questions.
Okay.
I just want to say, after the accident happens, he did catch a lot of fake IDs when he asked it, so just if chiefs want to have it for study, I can give it them.
Okay, thank you. All set, Mr. Russo. Mr. Lombardo?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Mr. Mackey?
I have no questions. I can appreciate that you're using the technology you have available to you, and hopefully we don't have to see you guys again. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman?
One of the questions I meant to ask earlier with the people is this, the police chief puts together, a training ahead of time to do it like that. Did you take part in that when they made it available to you to say, they're gonna do they're gonna make announcements through the community and they put out like information and they invite the businesses to take part in that training? Did you take advantage of that?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Okay. And, all the questions have been asked. Again, I'll agree with Mr. Mackey. This was an error, and we hope that we don't see you back here. So, as it's a public hearing, I'll ask anyone in the audience if they have any questions. Seeing none?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay, motion by Mr. Russo.
Second that.
Second by Mr. Kratman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, at this time, Chief Columbus?
Recommend a 3-day suspension, 1 being served, 2 held in abeyance for a period of 36 months.
Thank you, Chief Columbus. At this time.
I'll follow the chief's recommendation of a 3-day suspension, 1 day to be served, with the 36 months time to, if there's another violation, be taken into consideration, and the town manager shall pick the date.
Okay. Motion by Mr. Kratman.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you very much. The town manager's office will be in touch with you of the time of suspension. Okay, and the next, we have the Pizza Bar, 1699 Shawshene Street. At this time, I'll read, my name is Eric Ryder, Chair of the Select Board. I'll be presiding over this hearing of the Pizza Bar, 1699 Shawshene Street, Tewksbury, Mass. And if you could give your name?
My name's Attorney Greg Curtis from Goldman and Curtis and Lowell. Roland Lecce.
Okay. At this time, I'll request the chief come up and give us a briefing of what transpired.
All right, sorry, I got, this is Pizza Bar, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry about that. On Thursday, June 11th, 2026, at approximately 6:36 PM, a 19-year-old entered the Pizza Bar at 1699 Shawshene Street and purchased alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree to?
We do agree.
You do agree. Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll open it up to the board. Mr. Lombardo.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back to my original questions of what happened.
Basically, I'm here, Eva Sandikos is the manager of record for the liquor license. Roland Lecce is also one of the owners, but he's not on the liquor license. Apparently, 6:30 in the evening, it's busy, it's a small place, and no excuse for the actions of the employee. She was a young employee. Gentleman came in, asked for a beer. She served him the beer.
She's
and
worked
then,
for us three years now. So what happened? I say, why? It's just, we train them, we have them really the post behind her back in the fridge. So what happens? Always, we own 2 licenses, 2 alcohol licenses, we never have problem. We're 10 years there, never. So why? I said, well, I asked Larissa, I said, Larissa, why? I say, I don't know, the phone ringing, people come and go, I don't know.
Well, Mr. Lecce wasn't there at the time, but the bottom line is, they know when someone orders a beer, or it's just beer and wine in that location, that they have to ask for an ID. And apparently, whether it was busy or she didn't understand, she did not ask for the ID. And she's been an employee there for a while. Sometimes she's mostly in the back. There's only 2 cashiers, and when you walk into the pizza bar, you have to walk right up to where the cashiers are. I think there's a cooler on the side where you would take a beer out to pay for it. It's not a big item that is used. They do a lot of takeout, but again, she knew what she needed to do. She made a mistake. As Mr. Lecce said, we've been there since 2018, and there hasn't been.
We don't leave the new people to serve alcohol for this reason, because we don't trust them 100%. They can check the ID. So always we leave the old employees to serve alcohol. We don't sell a lot of alcohol. Maybe almost nothing. Like most of our business is takeout, dining, and delivery. So always we leave the old people to serve alcohol. So we trust them. So they work for us 3 years. They never have a problem. I'm sorry, I don't know what they say. The same thing they told me to me. I said, why? Like, what happened? He told me, I stuck. I don't know. So
Again, they've been trained to understand what they need to do. We haven't had a problem in the 8 years. This, I think, is the first offense that they've had for any type of alcohol, and she should have known better when she somehow realized that gentleman was 19 years old or was not there to have a beer. He bought the beer, he put it back down, and the next step was the detectives came in to let them know that they just served a minor. And Eva Sandikos would be here tonight, but she was scheduled to be out of the country on vacation, so I'm here and Mr. Lecce is here, but what the recommendation is of the board.
We know it's wrong. We know it. We try. For us, it's very like we try. We do the best what we can do. Like we're like all day, every day around our business. But sometimes it's something we cannot control. I wish I can control everything, but sometimes I can. I try to do the best I can for everything. Like in the alcohol, in the pizza bar example, I put always the old employee to serve alcohol. Like I have always 2 cashiers. Always they have 2 cashiers. So always the old cashiers check the license ID. So she was the old one. I don't know why. I'm sorry. Never happened again, but I don't know why. Like the same I asked her, I said, what happened, Larissa? Why this one happened? Say me, I don't know. Say me, the phone ringing. I thought I asked for ID. Because always she's do. I know because I want to protect my license, first of all. So she said in the beginning, said I take the phone, I say, hold on, then I thought I asked for ID. I'm sorry.
Okay. And has there been any corrective action taken since?
Well, the only corrective action is training to, unlike a liquor store where people are always coming in just to buy alcohol and they do the scanners. I made the recommendation that maybe a scanner, but that's not going to help if you don't ask for the ID. You got to have the ID and look at it, and then possibly you would put it in a scanner to see if it's legitimate. But as the police officer said, if you get an ID and it says they're old enough, it could not be a correct ID, but you can usually rely on that if it's not some altered document. But other than training, letting them know what the situation is, I don't know what else they can do. They'd have to just remove those people. But this girl has been there for a little while. There's never been a problem in the past, and unfortunately, she had a problem
like
that
she worked
day.
for us every summer. So.
And they've been notified on it. They do get the letters, so they know that the police are coming around. They don't know what day, but it's random. And I know everybody else that's been here tonight, and whether it was that day or an earlier day, and I deal with this a lot in Lowell. We have a lot of bars in Lowell, but they have to know what the situation is and what the consequences are. So we're here to just indicate that it did happen, trying to do the best we can to keep people that are there vigilant about anybody that comes in. I don't care if you look like me with gray hair. You caught them. It's like going to the Boston Garden. You could be 50 years old. They're going to ask you for an ID. So it's just the way it has to be. We'll leave it up to the board to.
So I don't know, I think to buy the machine that Mr. Gregor told me, just to make them one more step, to don't forget, because it doesn't do by purpose, nobody, I think so. For my business, I know that. But to put them one more step, so to try to, of course not happen again, but one more step. How many steps you do, it's more things to remember, because when I asked her, she said, I asked for ID, I think I asked for ID. It's okay, it's young. I do mistake every day too, everybody. I can I keep here in the restaurant, of course, I don't move here in cashier, I move here from cashier. because I don't want to happen again. But I'm sorry, but I don't know. It's sometimes we try to do the best, but it's no, I can control everything.
Understand. Mr. Mackey?
Thank you. So, Counselor, I appreciate you saying that you're looking into the scanner. So the recommendation that I usually make is they are integrated with the point of sale system. So it actually, when you go to cash out, it will actually either ask you to scan it or will prevent you from moving forward with the transaction.
So that you have to
This is very
have
good.
the ID.
That's when I will ask Toast. This is very good. I don't know that. I will ask because this can be very good for us.
We have
So
talked
before
about
they
that,
leave,
and I think
they need to
that's-
ask for ID.
Could be a savior for this situation where you have to, when you cash out, they have to have the ID.
Yeah, it's the easiest
Yeah.
solution that I've seen
I
be
agree.
successful. A lot of small businesses in town.
Because
it's,
you talk to, we do meeting every 15 days. Every 15 days. And like we have another full liquor license. We never have problem, but we try to be on the top to don't happen problem, because if you leave them, there will be problem a lot of times.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman?
Yeah, this is always difficult for us. We want to support local businesses. We hate this. But, to be fair, the ABC goes out and they don't give any notification. They just show up.
Right.
The police department sends you a letter, notifies you, offers you trainings. Did you take advantage of the training that they put out this year to attend it?
They do. We talk to them every day. They do. They have behind the back, they have the paper, the big paper the police does give.
No, but they do training. I don't know if they've done training recently. When I was here, when we had the liquor license issued, that was 2018. I know there was training and tips training and that type of thing at the time.
Oh, but the police department, before they do this, what they do is they send an email out and they offer,
Yeah.
and they put a video out saying, literally telling you, we're coming.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're looking for. And they offer it within like the 2-month period almost before they're showing up.
Yeah.
So if you took your employees and you sat in that and you listened to it, kind of instills it in their mind that, hey, listen, the police department's telling you they're coming. They're giving you notification. They're offering you training for what they're going to be looking for. And if you don't take advantage of that, and it that's one thing that they're not charging you, they're telling you, they're offering this for the businesses to help you. And if you don't take advantage of it, that's why sometimes you hear.
Always when we hire a new cashier, always we do meeting with all of them. So we said, we're hiring a few days before one new guy. And the first thing we do meeting, we say, you don't touch alcohol. Who's work with you, he touch alcohol. If somebody asks you for wine or beer, you say to Mr. Greg or Larissa, who's next to them. So we do this one all the time. I try to, because I don't want those problems. I don't like those things.
You don't have to preach to me. If someone who has children that are in their 20s, you can tell them to it's coming out their ears. They listen to what they want to listen to. And I understand that as being a business owner, you could tell them 100 times. They're gonna either give you the yeah, or, or you're gonna lose your job. So that's where it kind of comes down to.
I try to make them step because, of course, everybody they say yes, but for us, we need to protect the community and we need to protect our license first of all. So for this reason, I try to do them a lot of steps before they give the alcohol. I don't want somebody new because I don't know, I'm sorry, I forgot.
I also
was
feel,
stressed.
from my perspective, it's kind of a wake-up call, because when you've been in business 8 or 9 years, everything's gone smoothly, you've never had a problem, and then something like this happens, it lets you know that, everything isn't perfect all the time, and this could happen again. So whether you do things like take advantage of what the police are offering, or tips training and all that type of thing. We do festivals in Lowell with the churches. You have to have tip certification just to serve at probably do it in Tewksbury too, the same way. You have to have the certification, people know what they're doing, whether they're handling food or whether they're handling alcohol. There's a lot of processes that go through it.
Well, I agree with Mr. Mackey on the suggestion of putting in the scanners, but I also believe that next year, he's going to do the same exact thing. He's going to offer that training. If you didn't take advantage of it this year,
do it.
Here's a little wake-up call. Make sure you take advantage of it next year. He sends you an email, offers it. They're going to give a training before this happens. Maybe get your employees together and watch it and take advantage of it. That's all I have. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chairman. Mr. Russo?
Yeah, no further questions. I mean, I think our colleagues here already beat you guys up enough, so.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Mr. Mackey's suggestion, so again, I hope you take all those steps to training.
Thank you.
We don't see you back here. As it being a public hearing, anyone here in the audience like to speak on this matter? Seeing none?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, at this time, Chief Columbus, can you
Make a recommendation for a 3-day suspension, 1 day being served, 2 held in abeyance for a period of 36 months.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Just to clarify, the period of 36 months should be from the date of the violation.
Date of violation?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Okay, we have a recommendation from the chief.
I'm going to make a recommendation that follows the chief's recommendation of the 3-day suspension, 1 to be served, 2 in abeyance, with a 36-month thing, and the town manager can select a date. And when he puts that in there, maybe he can clarify that the 36 months will be from the day when he puts that letter together to send it.
All right, we have a motion by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brett.
Thank you.
And the next show cause hearing is Hilton Garden Inn, 4 Highwood Drive. Do we have anyone? Oh, I do, okay. I'll just go through. My name is Eric Wright, Chair of the Select Board. I'll be presiding over the hearing of Hilton Garden Inn, 4 Highwood Drive, Tewksbury, Mass. Chief Columbus?
Thank you. On Thursday, June 11th, 2026, approximately 7:36 PM, a 19-year-old entered Hilton Garden at 4 Highwood Drive and purchased alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay, thank you. If you could just give your name.
Sure, it's Sharon Shaughnessy, I'm the general manager.
Okay. Do you agree to the violation?
I do.
You do? Okay, thank you. At this time, I'll open it up to the board. Mr. Lombardo.
Go again. So I guess what happened on this day?
First, there's no excuse whatsoever for this. When we hire bartenders and front desks who sell alcohol, they're required to be tip certified, as well as required Hilton trainings. Everyone was made aware that this was happening on multiple occasions, so there is no excuse. The bartender has taken full accountability for it. She was taken off the schedule for 2 weeks. We did internal training in the hotel on all, again, front desk and bartenders. I was hesitant to bring this up because there is no excuse whatsoever for this, but we are primarily a bar for our guests. Our guests have to be 21 to rent a room. And this did not come from the bartender. This is just circumstantial, with the hotel. We are very strict about this, from the hotel level to the Hilton level to the ownership level.
Okay, thank you.
And I do want to recognize you guys are being accountable. 2 weeks, she was taken off schedule and you have internal training. And then you mentioned everyone has to book room has to be 21, but you can bring a kid with you.
Of course.
Who's 19, 18,
Of
they
course.
can go into that bar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's
why I said it was no excuse.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Mr. Mackey.
Thank you. So I guess my only question is, do you guys have any controls in place, technical controls, scanners, point of sale system requirements, anything like that?
We don't have scanners, no, but again, we are required, we require our employees to ask for IDs up to people that are 50 years old. And they do it most of the time, so.
Well, I will just reiterate that same recommendation. It's something I usually bring up, which is the scanner. Again, the POS systems, a lot of them now have them integrated. There are devices you can buy, but I would highly recommend looking into that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Kratman.
I was shocked by this one, honestly, because I I've been in the place numerous times and had discussions with you when we've gone up there, and we brought this up in the past because you have a function room. And you have function rooms, and I mentioned that we're going to have, I understand you got people staying there, but the place is rented out, and we have people that are going there, and it's great because it's a wonderful place for the community. We're putting, the team, the high school's using it to put on sports teams, and I love the place for the community because you're able to use it, but it's just a due diligence. I know you reiterated it, I know you told me you did it, and it's the same thing like I just said to people. It comes down to employees where you can tell them and tell them and tell them, but unfortunately, it's just, what happens if you continue to do it? It's like a mistake can happen, it shouldn't, but if it happens another time, maybe you got to think about a policy of what happens again. It's like, once it's not allowed, second time, you got to come up with something to say.
It won't happen again.
Yeah, okay, but that's the thing, that's all. So I appreciate your hard work in trying to make it happen, but here we are. So,
Mr. Russo.
I'll just say thank you for the sincerity coming in. I know this isn't an easy time, and I'm glad to see that you made some of the steps and some of the changes to rectify it, so thank you for that.
Okay.
I personally take this.
Yeah.
I've been on liquor license for several different places, and I've never had a violation. So I take this very personally, so.
Well, thank you for implementing those, the training. Unfortunate, the 2 week off the schedule, hard lesson to learn, but also affects the business, and, hopefully that will, open their eyes to what the requirements are. Okay, this public hearing, any residents in the audience wish to speak on this? Seeing none?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Portion of the public hearing is closed. At this time, Chief Columbus.
Recommendation will be a 3-day suspension, 1 served, 2 held in abeyance for 36 months from the date of the violation.
Thank you, Chief. We have a recommendation from the chief. Anyone from the board?
I'll make a recommendation. We follow the chief's recommendation of a 3-day suspension, 1 day to be served, 2 to be in abeyance, 36 months, and the town manager will select the date, and a letter will be sent out.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Kratman.
I'll second the motion.
Second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And the town manager's office will be in touch. And we have our last show cause hearing is Mexico Burrito Grill, 759 Main Street. Anyone here? At this time, my name is Eric Ride, Chair of the Select Board. I'll be presiding over the hearing for Mexico Burrito Grill, 759 Main Street, Tewksbury, Mass. If you just want to give your name, sir?
Yeah. Arturo Hernandez.
Okay, thank you. Chief Columbus.
Thank you. On Thursday, June 11, 2026, at approximately 7:56 p.m., a 19-year-old entered Mexico Burrito Grill at 759 Main Street and purchased alcohol without being asked for identification.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with the findings?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This time, I'll open it up to the board. Mr. Kratman.
Same question we asked everybody. What happened?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I was in their store when this happened. It was my son's graduation, so I was not in there. I was contacted right after, so the next day we did a meeting with the team. We tried to train them, tell them that this is something serious. We have been in business for almost 20 years, and this is the first time that it happened. And I mean, we put new signs. We don't sell a lot of alcohol, but we always like in and out thing. So for that, we try to have our team like do meetings like every week, tell them like, hey, this is something serious. You guys have to ask for an ID. And I mean, it's something that's not hard. You just gotta ask for the ID. I mean, we're not asking for prove something or anything, just ask for the ID. So, I mean.
All right. So the chief sent a letter. He sent an email offering the training. Did you take advantage of that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, that's great. just, and I mean, that's something that he's going above and beyond to try to help.
Yeah, they do that every year, so.
Yeah, and it sounds like most years you followed.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this one, he didn't, so, and as you heard with the other ones, it's,
Yeah.
you pretty much get what we're probably going to suggest, but the second, if it happens again, it gets more severe.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. All right,
I apologize for that.
thank you. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Russo?
Yeah, no, I don't have any additional questions. I mean, I know the kids love coming here. So there's a lot of minors that have traipsed through,
Yeah.
obviously, and, not that all of them are looking to purchase alcohol as a minor, but, obviously, I mean, it's a little more dire just given sort of the nature of, the clientele that you serve, right, generally speaking. So just, I appreciate the efforts that you're taking to rectify this, and, hopefully there's no more incidents at this point. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Russo. Mr. Lombardo?
Yeah, I appreciate you guys taking the efforts to train your staff. And you guys have been around for 20 years, you said?
Yeah, I mean, in the business, 20 years, but we have been in Tewksbury for 12 years, I believe, so this is like first time.
Yeah, and of all the businesses on here, I was Mexican Burritos. I'm a frequent there, so I don't want to see you guys on here again. All right, don't do that to us in Tewksbury. Okay, so I appreciate the accountability and be responsible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lombardo. Mr. Mackey?
Thank you. Yeah, so my only question is, I know you guys don't serve a lot of alcohol, but have you considered a scanner or point of sale solution for requiring IDs before those sales are made?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry.
Have you guys considered like the scanner device or the point of sale system? So like when you actually ring it up, it gives you the pop-up and asks you to check the ID or scan?
I think that's something that we should start like having in our business because, I mean, like I said, we don't do a lot of alcohol, and that's something that sometimes they forget to ask because we only, like I said, it's like in and out. Some people don't even know that we sell alcohol. And it's hard we try to do meetings, hey, we don't sell a lot of alcohol, so you guys gotta be, every time somebody asks for a beer, just kind of see an ID, that's it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Again, I know, you've been in business a long time. We haven't seen you here. So hopefully we will not with the training and the education and continue with the chief's training. So
thank you.
As this is a public hearing, anyone in the audience have any questions or comments? Seeing none?
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second. Motion by Mr. Kratman, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Chief Columbus.
The recommendation is 3-day suspension, 1 day served, 2 in advance, with the period of 36 months from the date of the violation.
Thank you, Chief. We have a recommendation from the chief.
I'll make a motion to approve. I'll give Mr. Kratman a break.
Thank you. I was going to say, what do you say?
The chief's recommendation with 1 day served, 2 days in advance, 36 months from the incident.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Russo.
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Lombardo. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Also, Town Manager's Office will be in touch with you on what day you'll be serving the violation. Okay? Thank you. Okay, next we move on to residents. Any residents like to speak at this time? Please give your name and address for the record.
Sure. Dustin Weir, 426 Chandler Street. I was just reviewing the meeting packet tonight with attention to the town meeting agenda, and I know you guys can't respond directly at this point, but I realized that there was a change on I believe it was Article 8 between last meeting and this meeting with respect to sewer agreements. So at some point in your meeting, if Mr. Curran could address that, I'd appreciate that. Everything else for me, as far as town meeting schedules, dates, times, all that stuff, that's all good, as is the agenda, so I have no outstanding questions with that. With regard to Flock, and this is not speaking as a moderator, this is speaking as a resident, I really appreciate, again, Chief Columbus, his effort. I appreciate all your effort. I appreciate the 3 hours worth of time we had on discussion the last meeting. Thank you very much. I am very, very interested in the next steps of the process. I understand that we've got an attorney working on it, on contract. That's great. I also can appreciate the fact that the negotiations can't be done completely out in the open with Flock, but it is a little I wouldn't say concerning, but I'm paying attention to the fact that they're starting with Flock's template for the agreement, the MSA. So that's something that I think I would like to see some care in, just making sure that it's, that we're looking at all the angles to protect the residents' privacy, and to make sure that we're covering the 99.8% of pictures that are taken by Flock of innocent people. And then, and I would just hope and encourage that, whether the select board is going to take this moving forward, or if you're passing it off, the main responsibility to the police chief to do the negotiations, that's all good. I'd like to, I'm going to be paying attention, hopefully make that clear. And if there's any opportunity whatsoever, I don't just get up here to run my mouth about it. I'm here to participate, and if I can help out in any way as a resident, you guys know how to get me. Thank you.
Thank you, Dustin. Any other residents at this time like to speak? Okay, moving on. New business. It will be poll workers. Denise.
Good evening.
Welcome.
Chair and members of the board, tonight I am pleased to present the proposed list of poll workers for your consideration and appointment for the upcoming election cycle. Poll workers play an essential role in assuring that our elections are organized, accessible, and conducted in accordance with Massachusetts election laws and procedures. The list before you includes returning poll workers as well as individuals who have recently expressed interest in joining our election team. Each individual has been considered based on the needs of our polling locations, the positions required, and our goal of maintaining a well-trained and dependable workforce. I appreciate the board's continued support of our election operations, and most importantly, the residents who step up to serve their community on Election Day. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open up to the board for questions. Let's start with Mr. Lombardo.
I don't have any questions, Denise. You kind of have experience in doing this, so.
Okay, thank you, John. Mr. Mackey.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Mr. Kratman.
Usually I don't have any questions, but we've been looking at this for many years. Denise, does the alternates get the same training as the other poll workers when you do the training for the location, all the locations?
So that's a good question. So the alternates are in place in case there's an opening. So if somebody's absent on Election Day, or there's a position open where somebody steps down. So they would be included in the training if they are going to be working that particular election. So we usually have the training about a week before. We also, I like to try to have alternates come in to work during early voting to give them some experience, as well as take some time on Election Day if they're not working to really observe and kind of start the training there. So they do get some idea as before they would get picked to go onto an election.
Okay, I've been looking at this, and like all these alternates have been on here for many years of what's going on. Like, I'm looking at some of the names, and I just was wondering if it's hard to get workers. I understand what you go through. You get a great staff, you do a great job with the training, and I just was wondering if, after a while, if they don't think they're going to get on the thing, are they going to stop applying?
Yeah.
And then, then do you have a backup? So.
Yeah, well, right. So, it's kind of the nature of the beast. Like, we have to have people prepared and ready to go, but there's only so many positions that we have available. And so we actually have a whole list of new alternates. We had a meet and greet last week where we invited all of the alternates to come in and meet the wardens. So we really staff the precincts through the wardens. They're in charge of their precinct, and they know, the skills and the personalities of everybody on their team. So I really rely on the wardens to let me know when a position they think something, is coming open, or, they know that somebody's going to be away ahead of time. So it was nice to have them be able to introduce themselves and just get to know who they are and, why they're interested in working, how long they've been in Tewksbury. So it was a very successful event. And I did include the alternates in my request for early voting help. So we're going to be doing early voting starting on the 22nd for the state primary. And I got a lot of response from that, so I'm really encouraged by that.
Well, I appreciate that. That
Yeah.
shows that
We want to try to get, if they're
we're giving
interested.
somebody, they're taking the effort to sign up.
Mhm.
And if they do it year after year and they're not going to get it eventually, they're just not going to sign up. And I understand, people have been doing it for many years, so once you get good people, you want to keep good people, but it's also, we have certain years where we have multiple elections. We have, we have the state ones, and everything else. And the fact that you're doing that with the early voting and those type of things, that's great news. So thank you for doing that.
Yes.
Excellent job.
All set, Mr. Kram?
Yeah.
Mr. Russo?
No, thank you for doing this. Just to clarify, this list is for all election, state and local.
Yes, so the election cycle starts, so you make the appointment in between July and August on very specific dates, so it goes to next year's July or August, when I would be before you again with a...
And then just maybe a point of clarification to Mr. Curran. I believe your office coordinates police details for all the poll sites.
Actually, no, I think you took, Denise.
I work with the chief for the appointments, but that is part of the new election law, that the motion that you make with the appointment includes the police chief.
Okay, awesome. All right, no further questions.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have any questions. Thank you. Thank you for all the training you do, and thank you all, you and your staff, and all the wardens and all the volunteers that do a great job. So thank you.
We're going to make a motion to
Yes.
approve? So I'll make a motion to approve the poll workers appointments as presented by the town clerk.
We have a motion by Mr. Kratman.
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And all approved.
The police details. I think you might need to make a motion to have one police officer per precinct, and recommend the authority to the police chief to assign specific police officers. So at the bottom of the letter that I presented to you,
Okay.
it kind of explains that was...
I'll change my motion. It says, I recommend the select board designate an authority to the police chief to assign specific police officers according to schedule and availability. Does that cover it?
motion.
I was going to, yeah. I was gonna-
So I'm amending that
There'll be a
motion to
separate
cover it.
motion. Yes. Okay.
So just a point of clarification. So do you do a police detail at each precinct or each location? Because usually there's 2 precincts at each location.
Right. So on a heavier voted election, we have one per precinct, and normally one detail officer is stationed outside to manage, campaigning, traffic, parking, things like that, and one inside that would, handle both of the precincts inside. A local election, we do one.
Yeah, okay, understood.
Okay, so we have a motion by Mr. Kratman per the language provided by Denise.
I'll second.
Provide the police chief the authority to assign the police officers for details. We have a second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right.
5-0.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Denise.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Okay, moving on. We have some donations. We have donation to the Veterans Department. They received 4 $25 Market Basket gift cards from an anonymous donor. Look for a motion to accept.
Motion to approve with gratitude.
All right, motion by Mr. Mackey.
Second.
Second by Mr. Lombardo. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, aye. Then we received the following, a donation, VFW Post 8164 generously donated $300 to support the summer barbecue, and also received 3 anonymous cash donations of $20 each, totaling $60 to help purchase supplies for the Veteran Coffee Social.
Motion to accept the donations with a letter of gratitude going to VFW Post 8164.
Okay, motion by Mr. Mackey. I'll second. Seconded by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
And then we have the following online donation to the Veterans Department. Leslie Marr, $200. Helena Christian, $200. Kimberly Batano, $200. Andrea Natapoulos, $200. Mary Fitzgerald, $200. Pam Aruda, $200. Anthony Guardia, $50, and the Williams family, $200.
Motion to approve the donations with gratitude.
We have a motion by Mr. Mackey, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have one more. Okay, and then the following donation from Marcia L. Gibbons of 1310 Emerald Court in the amount of $100. She put in memory of Dean Gibbons. Dean was one of our veterans who served the Vietnam War. He passed away June 2024, and his wife Marcia stops in to see us every once in a while.
Motion to approve with gratitude.
Second that. Motion by Mr. Mackey, second by Mr. Russo. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for the donations. And special town meeting warrants, turn it over to you, Mr. Kern.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'll just refer you to my town manager's report, and I have a running list of warrant articles that are being considered for the warrant. As you know, the warrant is open until August 21st. And just so that I don't forget what the moderator brought up, I did have on here intermunicipal agreements at one point. I took them off. As you know, we have one of those on the agenda tonight. Intermunicipal agreement for sewer requires approval of the Board of Selectmen, not approval of town meeting. And I had been working on 2, but one of them is for Melmark, which is on the agenda tonight. And the other one is, it seems to have, I don't know, fallen by the wayside. It was a private residence that was looking into it. I haven't heard back from them. So in any case, it would come before you, not before the town meeting. So that's no longer on there. So budget amendments right now, what I'm looking at for budget amendments is if that salary survey adjustment, if it's completed, I will move forward with that, which would be a separate article. It would be a budget amendment, but it would be separate from the other budget amendment. There is a highway salary omissions that has to be addressed. There's possibly an audit adjustment that needs to be made. And then I'm looking at an old, I gotta get the one I just printed out, excuse me. Prior year expenses. About $50,000 in prior expenses is one that, a fairly good sized one from special education. Free cash transfer to stabilization fund. We do think that we'll be able to certify free cash, so that we'll anticipate some articles for that to transfer money into the stabilization fund according to our policy, and then also a free cash transfer to the debt stabilization fund according to the policy. We expect the free cash to be much less this year. But what that does is it makes all those numbers smaller. But I do anticipate that we should be able to do the things that we need to do with free cash during this fall town meeting. The MBTA Communities Act also will be on there. I did send out the notice to the town clerk for the planning board public hearing for that, as well as the surrounding communities need to be notified, planning board, the surrounding communities, as well as NIMCOG and housing and livable communities need to be notified. So that's usually taken care of by the planning board, but with the transition going on, my office is taking care of that. So I'd make sure to do that now because I don't want to be, behind schedule on that. The hearing for that MBTA Communities Act is September 21st, and then we have 2 notices that go in the paper on August 27th and September 3rd into the town crier. So those will all be duly published. There will also have a ADA commission article that is being considered that I know that Select Board Member Lombardo was very interested in. Shawshene budget article, anticipating that there is no request for a special town meeting, that we would amend in the budget amendment, we would reflect the right number for the Shawshene budget article, which is not a huge issue for us because we had anticipated that originally, and the number actually went down, so that is not going to be a big issue. I also have a placeholder in here for lighting the high school field. That would be done through a series of free cash and maybe CPA money, as well as there's an old article associated with lighting that we could probably pilfer that money and move. And with the will of town meeting, we could reassign that to lighting. It was originally assigned for temporary lighting a few years back. Then there will be a capital article, which I know there are some DPW and police requests that are on that. There's Heathbrook School cell tower proposal that was on the warrant last year, and it was removed because the school committee wanted more time to look at it. And I know that a petitioner has met with the school administration, so that's on there as a placeholder. And then I listed off, to the best of my knowledge, what the free cash appropriations are looking like. It's looking like about $1.3 million, and there's a list on my report addressing all of those things. And then also what we'd be taking from water stabilization and what we'd be taking from sewer retained earnings. So 62,000 from water stabilization and 162 from retained earnings, sewer retained earnings. Just because people don't have this in front of them, I'll read the list of things off that we are looking to fund for capital items. So fire department boat launch, $132,000. Fire department salary buybacks, $78,000. Police department cruiser, $81,000. Police department vehicle for drug unit, $51,000. Police department computer, $10,000. Police new patrol K9, $40,000. Facilities maintenance schedule, $35,000. Sewer for bathroom at Livingston, and also for that whole complex down there. Looking at that, we have a consultant looking at that, so I have an earmark in there for $250,000. Truck number 4, replacement funding, $20,000. Whipple and Pine intersection improvements, $140,000. DPW lead service program, $350,000. Lead service program, sorry. And 2 mobile Mohawk lifts, $55,000. B-Boy paving box, $50,000. Vac truck rental, $60,000. And truck 4 replacement funding out of water stabilization, $10,000. The 2 mobile Mohawk lifts, $27,500. Leeboy paving box, $25,000. And then the truck floor replacement funding is split between sewer retained earnings. The Mohawks is split as well, so is the paving box. And then sewer pump additional cleaning, $100,000. So I'm going to go into these in much more detail at a later date, but I just wanted to get them on your radar so you know what they are. If you have any questions, you can either bring them up now or you can just, inquire it to me offline if you want. But I will have much more detail. Some of these things might end up on the final warrant because based on whatever the free cash number is. But I did want to just make sure I went through all these, make sure that you're aware of them.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Curran. Anyone, questions from the board? We'll start with Mr. Russo.
Yeah, just one. Just on the Peakbrook School cell tower proposal, you had mentioned that the petitioner has been talking to the school administration. So the school committee, I'm assuming, is involved in that at this point.
Yes, and but I am going to call Bridget myself to make sure I hear it before the final warrant is printed with that on it.
Okay.
So,
thank you. All set, Mr. Russo. Mr. Kratman.
I was going to bring that up because I'm sure there could be some concerns with that cell tower going near a school and notifications and all that. So let's do our due diligence with that. And the only other thing, I mean, we're going to get into the details of this, so I don't want to go over it. But I was looking at vac truck rental, and I'm like, we got a lot of water and sewer that we're doing in the community, and why are we renting a truck when we're probably going to need it?
So that is actually a temporary thing. We have to send out a vac truck to be repaired and renovated, and we don't want to be without a vac truck because I'll have Kevin explain it, but we have two vac trucks. One vac truck, the front unit works. One vac truck, the back unit works. So he thought the best way to handle it would be to do a rental to handle the period of time that we're going to be without those vac trucks. And then, unfortunately, it's expensive. But as you know, we use those things virtually every day.
The rental part stuck out to me. It's
Yeah.
I'd rather, we're going to spend $60,000. If it's a temporary thing, there's an explanation because we're repairing the other ones.
Yeah.
That answers my question.
Yeah.
But if we were just renting it all the time, I'd rather buy one because we're going to use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a stopgap. And all of these things, I should say, are all one-time expenditures because they're coming out of free cash.
Okay, we'll get more details later on. I'm sure you'll get into it. We'll go over it again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kratman. Mr. Mackett.
I have no questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lombardo?
No questions.
John, just one. We just approved a new vac truck, correct?
A new what?
We approved a new vac truck at town meeting.
Right, but I don't believe it's delivered yet, but.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but that's why we don't want to be without one.
Okay, and I was just wondering
Yeah.
what the delivery time on that is?
I'll get the details on that, but.
If we could hold off on, if the delivery's soon, hold off on sending those two others to get repaired instead of saving us $60,000, what the delivery time on the new one would be.
I think the fear is, and again, I'll have Kevin speak to it, but if one of those two vac trucks, that we're only using half a vac truck, if one of those things goes down.
Understand.
We're in big trouble.
Okay.
Okay.
I appreciate it. That's it. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Karn.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we'll move on to the intermunicipal agreement, 470 River Road, Andover Street. Back to you, Mr. Karn.
Okay. So I gave the board a memo about this, and the intermunicipal agreement is in your package. Basically, this is Melmark, and they are looking to build a group home for disabled people, and it would be in Andover, but the sewer connection would be in, sewer would be provided by Tewksbury. And they have an existing intermunicipal agreement that's very old, it's been in place for a long time. And there was one parcel that never got served by that agreement, so they want to basically replace that parcel with this other parcel, which is 470 River Road. And so the capacity, will not change the capacity that they're requesting, and it would allow them to connect. And an intermunicipal agreement requires the approval of the select board. It also needs to be approved by the town of Andover and the city of Lowell, because the sewer actually ends up in Lowell, so the effluent, I should say. So right now, it's in the process of, the agreement is pretty well finalized. You have the red line version in front of you. There were the plan has been received that accompanies this agreement, and is being reviewed by the engineer's office now. But since we have one meeting in August, I thought I would request or recommend that the board delegate the authority to execute this agreement to the town manager, and with this caveat that any conditions required or requested by the DPW are incorporated into that agreement. And I put a motion on the memo.
Okay, I'll open up to the board. We'll start with Mr. Kratman.
No, I pretty much I read all this. I understand that there was a initial parcel that had the connection, and now they're trying to transfer that. They never developed the other land. Now they have another thing, and so it appears they're trying to make more usable space to help the disabled individuals. So, and it's working with an agreement between the community, so I have no problem with it. So I have no questions.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Russo?
No, I mean, I think it made sense to me. Obviously, Melmark would be paying into the Tewksbury sewer pool.
Yes.
From that standpoint, because they're connected to us. Okay, perfect. Yeah, no further questions.
All right, thank you. Mr. Lovato?
That was my question, so I'm good.
Okay. Mr. Mackey?
I have no questions. Thank you.
Okay. I do have one, John. So just under 4,000 gallons per day. It's interesting because if you look at the 2013 agreement, it was 4,500, and then the 2016 agreement was 3,960, and then looks like they're adding an additional 800 for 470. Just, with our agreement with Lowell, do we still have the capacity to provide that?
Yes, yes, we will.
Okay. Again, I just want to make sure that we have the capacity. Okay, that's all I had.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town manager to execute the final agreement with Melmark for the home for disabled individuals located at 470 River Road in Andover. And then also let the town manager incorporate any amendments recommended by the Tewksbury engineer.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Russo.
I'll second that.
Second by Mr. Kratman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention. Okay. And that passes 401. And then next is reimbursement stabilization from MassDOT.
Yes. So this, as you recall, we had very tough winter, and we ended up with a snow and ice deficit of $1.59 million, almost $1.6 million. And the way we covered that deficit was we always appropriate, we leave $600,000 in free cash in anticipation of covering any deficits for snow and ice. But in years like last year, we ended up with much more than $600,000. We ended up with 1.6. So we used stabilization to cover the rest of that deficit. So that was $1 million. So the state has, they implemented the RAP program, which allows you to recover, some of that money. And one of the ways you can use it is if you did take money out of the stabilization fund, you can replenish the stabilization fund. So since we took such a great deal of money out of the stabilization fund, the recommendation would be to replenish that stabilization fund with the amount of money we've been awarded, which is $381,821. And just as I know that the chair had brought this up with me, we are also looking at applying for additional RAP funds that are available through the extraordinary RAP funds. In fact, we got something yesterday, and I forwarded it over to Andrew. So we'll be seeking that money as well.
Good.
But it does require action from, if you want to place that back into the stabilization fund, it requires a action from the board.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Curran. Any questions from the board? Start with Mr. Mackey.
No questions. Thank you.
Mr. Lombardo. None. Mr. Russo. Mr. Kratman.
Just one question, and I know it's probably irrelevant, but we've been, that 600,000 number's been there for as long as I've been here. It's like that number's never gone up, it's never gone down. I know it's kind of like, doesn't make a difference what the number is, but is that something, maybe salt's going up, costs are going up, should we be raising that for future?
So it's like, hey, if you had a crystal ball, right? 'Cause last year, 600 was enough. This year, it was not even 1/3 of what we needed. So, I mean, we could put more money in it, but I would anticipate, I don't know, I mean, that's something I'll look at this next budget cycle and see if it's something we can do. I mean, Tewksbury uses free cash to do that. In other communities, a lot of times, you add it to the, you can add it to the levy. We have not done that, and it's worked well for us. Because if you add it to the levy, it increases people's taxes. So we could look at increasing it, and I'll do that in the next budget cycle.
I just know the cost of salt is going through the roof.
Yeah.
I love the fact that, you know, at least I hope they continue to do the same thing. At the end of the season, they usually go and they fill the barn to max, because they know salt's going to go up the following year.
Well, I mean, I know you probably know this, but a lot of people don't know it, but it's a funny thing about the way the statute works with snow and ice and your ability to put it on the levy. So if people try to hedge snow and ice and lower it, make it lower than the previous year, then you're not eligible to put it on the levy. So communities, they never lower, they don't do that, but they also don't raise it.
Right.
So that's why I always say the same, and virtually every community in the Commonwealth has an appropriation on their budget that is not a realistic representation of what snow and ice should be. So the irony is that statute has forced exactly what they didn't want to happen, right? Which is that you're not putting enough money in snow and ice. And the way Tewksbury has dealt with it was to carry that in free cash. Other communities have dealt with it by just leaving it and then adding it to the levy later. But I'll look at that during the budget cycle, and if I think we can handle it, we'll add more money to it.
If it helps the budget-wise to keep it the same, I'm not in favor of changing it.
Yeah.
Just looking at, looking in the future, it's not going down. I just don't want to have, like, what if we have 4 years of heavy storms? We've been lucky over the last couple of years, and, we're in New England, so who knows?
Yeah.
Bite your tongue.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Kratman. But I will say, I'm sure you're well aware of this, Mr. Curran. If you reduce your snow and ice funding, you're not eligible to deficit spend either. So if you reduce your funding from prior year funding line item in your budget, and you reduce that budget due to budget shortfalls, you're unable to deficit spend.
Right.
So, that is, the guidelines kind of have been manipulated over the years.
Yeah.
But that's the reason why when residents ask, we're transferring X amount of dollars out of stabilization, it's because you don't want to increase your budgets in flush years, and in tight years, you reduce it because you're inability to deficit spend.
Right.
So, and snow and ice is one of the few that you're eligible to deficit spend. So, all right, thank you, Mr. Curran.
Thank you.
And, okay, moving on to old business. Shawsheen, budget discussion, new business manager introduction. Welcome.
Thank you.
If you,
I'm sorry. We do need an action from that last one.
Oh, we do need,
Yeah, we
okay,
do.
my apologies. We do need an action
So
to,
I'll make a motion to adopt the town manager's recommendation to reimburse the stabilization fund with the RAP funds in the amount of $381,821.04 for funds used to eliminate the FY 2026 snow and ice deficit.
Second.
thank you, John. A motion by Mr. Lombardo, seconded by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, all right. Thank you, John. Okay, Shawshene budget discussion, and then the introduction of new business manager. Floor is yours.
Thank you. My name's Tony McIntosh. I'm proud to serve as the Superintendent Director at Shawshene Tech. I'm joined tonight by our new business manager, Ian Gosling. Ian joined us from Methuen Public Schools a little less than a month ago now. We welcome him on board, and we're glad to have him with us. We're also joined by the two Tewksbury School Committee representatives, Ms. Patty Muse and Mr. Bob Hutchins are with us this evening as well. I'm going to kind of start with a high-level kind of update on this and then defer to questions. Again, I'm not quite sure exactly where those lie or what direction it'll take us in, but just to give you some background here, obviously our budget was not approved. Tewksbury was one of 3 communities that didn't fund the full assessment for FY27. We took the feedback from all of our sending communities. We went back, we made some revisions to the budget. I believe it was June 22nd that the budget was reissued. It was sent back out to all the town managers and the finance committees. What we did is we went back, we made some targeted reductions to our professional development budget. We made some targeted reductions to supplies budgets across the facility. Our academic departments, our vocational departments, our admin offices, everybody kind of suffered the same fate, for lack of a better term. And then we also made some significant reductions to our capital requests for the FY27 budget, which amounted to a reduction of $456,614, which is reflected in that document that was sent back out to our sending communities. Again, I'm not sure exactly where the questions lie, so happy to respond, happy to answer anything that the board has for us.
Okay, great. Thank you very much and welcome. I will open it up to my colleagues. I'll start with Mr. Russo.
No, thank you for coming this evening, and welcome. I know it's been a process to get the new business manager entrenched. As far as the budget, so Mr. Kern, I know through you, I know that we're going to be putting this on the warrant article. We already talked about that. To my recollection, we approved, I believe, 5/12 of it.
Right.
Previous town meeting in May. And so the intention is to approve basically the remaining 7/12s or the remaining 7/12s with the corrections that the Shawshene Technical School is.
The latter.
The latter, okay, okay. And so, Mr. McIntosh, I guess then, you mentioned that it was going to be reduced by about 450,000 as a whole.
Yes.
For the whole fiscal year, basically. And does that include the capital reductions as well, or those
Yes.
the recurring costs?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all, that's the PD, the supplies, and the capital costs, yep.
Okay. Okay.
And Tewksbury specific reduction, the difference is $124,953.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have any other further questions then, Mr. Chair. Again, I know, there's a lot of information to go through here, so I know, if I do, I'll make sure we reach out to you directly, of course, but thank you for providing this.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Russo. Mr. Kratman.
Well, thank you for coming before us tonight. I know we had a lot of discussion at town meeting. I think that's one of the issues that we're having. I've told people millions of times when we're doing this, trying to solve something on the floor of town meeting is never a great place to do it. Here's where it is. It's coming here, talking with us, letting some people have some time to understand what the budget is, what the needs are, having some explanation, meeting with our finance committee, talking with our moderator, talking with everyone, and just of what we need to do and what you're looking for. And this is the first step. Communication has to be better. It really does. It just, we got residents that are looking at, they have difficult times with their budgets. We got people coming before us looking for, us to, fund certain projects. Everybody loves the schools, you never hear anybody talk bad about Shawshene Tech or our high school, and residents are very generous. But they also want to know, where their money's going and how it's being spent and what to expect. So when we're going over budget items, and we don't want to all of a sudden have something come in and you're looking for something that we weren't expecting. And that's where we're here. So, starting with that, I hope we can open a better line of communication, working with the town manager. I know you go back and forth, but the residents need to know as well. Even though you're having conversations going back and forth with the town manager, the residents want to be able to hear it at these public meetings as well. So that's all I really have. I'm going to take this as a lot of information we have to go through, but the communication part, coming here, great first step. Continue that conversation, welcome, and that's what we're looking for. You're going to be, it sounds like you got a lot of work in front of you, and but you said we'll have a bunch of questions and we'll work through those with you.
I have a lot of work to do. I'm very happy to be here. Glad to meet you all. But one thing that you need to know about me is, you have a question, just call. I'm always available. I'll make sure you have my cell phone number, my direct line. There's no stupid question. If I don't know the answer, I'll go get it. But don't be afraid to reach out. You hear this, call me. I'll tell you if it's true or not. So, I want to build that rapport. Whether we agree, disagree, we can still have a good rapport and discuss the issues that are in front of us. So I look forward to working with all of you.
Well, I've been on this board almost, 12 years and gone through a number of superintendents, was going through, and, communication, most of the time, we get information ahead of time and we know what to expect. Every now and then, we've got information like we weren't expecting that. That's what we don't want. We don't want to find some surprise, oh, by the way, we're looking for this, and then try to get to town meeting and try to figure that out. So, like you said, better communication with the town manager, better communication with the boards, be very helpful. If you want to pass something through town meeting, that's the best way to get something through. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kratman. Mr. Mackey.
Thank you. Yes, still digesting. No questions right now. Do look forward to working with you. Appreciate that line of communication is open. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Lombardo.
Yeah, no, Mr. McIntosh, I think the first time I met you, look stressed out and flustered, look a lot more relaxed today and happier. So it's nice seeing that. And I have some questions for Mr. Livingston. So, what drew you to this position here, and then what made you go with it?
Just a quick correction.
Yeah.
Mr. Livingston was the interim. This is Mr. Goslin. So.
Goslin, okay, apologize for that, yeah.
I've always been interested in working in a vocational school. And for some reason, I've always been drawn to Shawshene Tech. Kind of a funny story, maybe not a funny story, but I worked my way up through education as a principal, assistant principal, worked my way up, eventually working my way into the business office. Education's what I do. About 9 years ago, I applied to be principal of Shawshene Tech under a different superintendent. And it came down to two people, me and the woman who's still there. So I've always been very interested in tech schools. My youngest son went to tech school. He's now at Union Carpenter. So I'm very interested in the vocational piece, as well as I'm just drawn to Shawshene Tech. And somebody said it earlier, I don't know who it was, but I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Shawshene Tech. So we all have our issues, every place has their issues, but honestly, sports program, the vocational program, I've never heard the MCAS scores, I've never heard anyone say a bad thing about Shawshene Tech, so I'm just happy to be part of it.
And you have previous experience in this role?
Yeah, I was, about 12 years, I was a school business administrator or assistant superintendent for finance and operations in Methuen.
Great. And I have to reiterate what Mr. Kratman said, collaboration, communications is critical. And we always want that good relationship with you guys. And I remember at the last meeting, you made it clear that you guys have always been great about budgeting, and we want to thank you for that, and really glad that you're able to resolve your problems. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lombardo. Again, welcome. Wish you the best of luck. We hope you're here to stay.
I hope so, too.
Me too.
You've got a lot of work ahead of you, but,
Mr. Chairman?
oh, yes.
I'm going to let him get off that easy, right?
No. I just was, I wanted to get my thank yous up first. But yeah, no, thank you. Looking forward to working with you. So welcome aboard. So I will turn it over to.
All right, thank you. I'm not going to grill you too badly. I just have a few requests in your budget presentations. What I found difficult with your budget is that you don't show history and trends. And that's what a lot of people like to see in a budget presentation, particularly where it comes to a 5-year budget history of total budget increases with percentages attached to it. So you have a slide that just shows the current year and the previous year, and you don't show what happened the years before, and how does that interrelate with the other schools in the district, You could even juxtapose that against enrollment, too. So I'd like to see just budgets overall, but also assessments. So show history and trends with the assessments for each district. So, what's happening with Tewksbury over the last 5 years, and compare that against enrollment too. I mean, you could do a line graph to show that very easily. It would be very informative to have that type of information. Couple of other comments. I had put something out back in May about different requests I had, and I noticed that you took some of the slides you took out of the presentation, which is fine because there were some issues I had with those slides, but you took those out, which is okay. So I don't have to bring those up, but. The only other things I just reiterate, I think that you have a plan, standard operating procedures for financial controls. When you had your auditor in, did they address those issues?
So we're still finalizing the FY25 audit. We do have a draft standard operating procedure, which was done through our interim. I haven't sprung that one on Ian yet, but it's coming. So yes, we're working to finalize that as well.
Okay, so, and then you're considering in your current budget and probably the next budget, expenses to make sure that you're addressing those issues like audit costs and things like that?
Yes, so as part of the modifications we made back in June, we did earmark some money. So we have contracted with Clifton Larson Allen to come in and do some cash reconciliation around some of those concerns for our E&D.
Is your cash reconciliation up to date? I assume it is because your E&D was certified, so. Do you know, is that?
Well, E&D got certified, but there was, for lack of a better term, there was some written off that as a cash variance.
Right.
So we're bringing them in to remedy that and make sure we're all on the same page.
But it's all within the last fiscal year, I presume, or is it span a couple of fiscal years?
There was a significant reduction from 24 to 25, but there's still some outstanding cash variances.
And you have is it Walter? I'm sorry.
Walter.
What's your first name?
Ian.
Ian. Is it, are you working that issue, or is it you brought a consultant to work on
I
that?
just had my 12th day today, so it is on my list of things to do. I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I know we do have people working on it. I know the treasurer's working on it as well.
We're still handshaking some of that stuff off as Ian transitions into his new role. And actually, this Friday is the last day. So Mr. Livingston was a part-time interim with a consulting firm. So Friday is our last day with the consulting firm. So we're still transitioning from their protocols to ours.
All right, that's great. It sounds like you're working on those issues, and yeah, I look forward to a much smoother run next year. And if you need anything from us, or if you ever, I know that you'll meet with the town managers
in the fall,
and if you have any questions about these things I brought up about budgets, and you want to ask me, Ian, you could, I'm always open too, so you could always call me. If you're putting something together, you said, hey, I wonder if this is what the managers want.
Does the town use Munis as well?
Yes.
I may have some Munis questions for you.
Yeah. I appreciate that, and good luck and welcome aboard, and Shawshin's a great educational facility and institution, so I'm sure you'll have a good run.
Thank you.
Yeah, you do? Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Kraft.
Before you leave, I just wanted to thank you and your staff over there. One of the things I was working with the selectmen over in Wilmington, we run our 9/11 ceremony each year. And each year we've taken the podium out of the back room and the podium was falling apart and things like that. So talking to one of the other selectmen who was a teacher out there, mentioned it to me, let's get the kids to do it. And so they they made it a project this year and they built us a new 9/11 podium. I haven't seen it yet. They sent me a couple of pictures. I was hoping to get them in here, but they were working on it, I guess, at the end of the year, and then they're on break. Our next meeting isn't until after 9/11, but once we get the podium delivered to us, we use it for the ceremony. But I would like to have the kids, or, the teachers maybe come in front of us to thank them for their hard work.
Absolutely.
I appreciate, like I said, you have great classes over there. Kids, take pride in stuff, and we just kind of let them go with it and make something. And they did a wonderful job from the pictures I saw. So I appreciate the hard work, so I just want to say thank you.
Just a quick follow-up question, delivery of that, coordinate through town manager's office or through?
Yeah, you can get in touch with him, he'll get in touch with me. We're probably just going to bring it right here and just
drop it
put
off.
maybe next door or something for that, and we'll get it back and forth. Usually, telemedia transports it back and forth. Storage, we'll figure that out.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again. Thank you. Welcome aboard.
Nice to meet you all.
Okay, moving on old business, Flock MSA update. Mr. Curran.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I was asked to give an update on where we are with Flock, and it's similar to where we were on July 23rd. As you know, we've engaged a law firm, Mintz Levin, Scott Lashway and Matthew Stein, are the two primary attorneys working on this for the town. And as I outlined on the July 23rd meeting, what we've instructed them to do is to take the information that was presented at the meeting, I forget the date of that meeting, but the meeting where we had a public hearing here for Flock, and I know that's where most of Select Board Member Mackey's information was presented, but he also did a report following that. So all that information, as well as the information that the public testified to, was provided to Mintz Levin for them to review, and then from that, put together an assessment of what things we should be addressing in an MSA. There was a template that was provided by Flock, an MSA template, and I've received, I did have a meeting with Mintz Levin, and the chief was there as well. We met with them a couple of days ago, online, virtually, to discuss next steps, and basically they put together an outline of all of the issues that we would like to address in the MSA. They went over that with us in detail, and what we're doing now, or what Ms. Levin is doing, is they're reaching out to Flock, to Fishbein, I believe, Attorney Fishbein, who's the attorney for Flock, and a meeting is being set up with them to present all of the issues and concerns that we have that were compiled from that public hearing and from the information presented by Select Board Member Mackey. So that was a 7-page document that we reviewed with them, with council, and that process, it is a negotiation. As you know, negotiations are not public processes. They are done, they're not done in a public forum, whether they're labor negotiations or otherwise. So there is a certain amount of that needs to be, that can't be done, but it doesn't, in the public forum, but it doesn't mean that I can't continue to provide updates. And in that vein, I can at least let you know that some of the issues that were culled out of the public presentation, as well as Select Board Member Mackey's information, is issues around that will be discussed with Flock, data ownership, who owns the data, as well as data retention, access and control, and personal data privacy, and how that is maintained, and Tewksbury camera access, how much, who has access to the cameras, and how the town has access to the cameras, security concerns, if there's a breach, and how will we be notified. So those are like 5 very high-level topic areas that were gleaned out of all of those discussions, and they will be gone over in detail with Flock and their legal team. And much of the language that I know that Select Board Member Mackey brought up is incorporated in many of these pointed requests to Flock as to how they can or cannot address these things. So we don't know, to be frank, if they can address them, but this is what we're trying to find out. So we're going to have that meeting, or actually the attorneys are going to meet with them first, then we're going to regroup, and then what I'll do is, depending on how that meeting goes, we will end up I'll come back and report to the board. As far as the timeline, I think that it is going to take the rest of the summer into September to finalize and/or determine that we need to go in a different direction. So that is going to take a little time. But I will continue to report to the board along the way, not just in these meetings, because I know we only have one this month, but I do reports every week, so I will report to the board on a weekly basis of any changes and information that I can, and those, of course, are public documents as well, so the public can have access to that information as well. So that's what I have for an update at this time. If you have any questions, I can try to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Curran. Open it up to the board. Mr. Mackey.
Well, Mr. Curran, first of all, thank you for providing that update. It's good to hear kind of some understanding of what's being included in that. I think there's obviously a line we need to walk with the negotiation piece. Still want to make sure we are getting updates on the direction we're going, because again, this is not a cheap endeavor, and I'd like to understand the scope. I appreciate what you were able to kind of give us at a high level. If we can get more information, that would be great. I know you said you have like a 7-page document. Would love to see that and understand where we're going, what Lashway Mintz firm was engaged to do, what they're negotiating. And as far as timeline, September seems reasonable. Communication piece, appreciate the reports that are going out, again, with this being a negotiation. I don't know if there's another way that the board can get additional information. So I just want to make sure that we're staying on top of this. Another area of concern, which is, I guess, how would you like my additional feedback? We're glad to hear the reports being incorporated, glad to hear that the resident concerns are being incorporated. The report was written at one point in time. A lot more information has come to light since we've gotten access to the logs, et cetera. So how would you like those additional items handed off?
Additional feedback, you mean additional comments to incorporate into that process?
Correct.
I mean, I'd have to defer to the board as a whole as to how you want to handle that, because at some point, we have to put our pencils down and go to the table. And we can't just keep putting information forward. But I imagine that one big breaking tipping point will be after Mintz meets with Flock, and they're going to get some idea about what the issues are, the problems are, and that's what I need to bring back to the board so that you'll have a better understanding of what the issues are that they can or cannot address. And then from there, I think, you should, respond and say, yeah, but you left out X, Y, and Z. And then absolutely, I think we would bring that back to the table if that's the case.
Okay, so it sounded like at the beginning, you're saying that you would like direction from the board on how you should receive additional feedback if you are going to accept additional feedback?
Right, because the direction I have right now is that the board has directed myself and the chief to go to sit down with this special counsel and try to see if we can create an MSA that addresses the concerns that have been raised to date. So if you want to bring new concerns to the table, I think we should probably try to figure out if we can even work through the issues that have already been raised before we start adding more issues to the table. Because it might be that those issues cannot be addressed, but if they are, then are they being addressed adequately? And it sounds like there's other things you want to bring in, and I would defer to the board on that, but whether we do that like now or do we do it at a different point when we kind of have a better idea of how responsive Flock is going to be to our concerns.
I would open that up to other suggestions, but I would say we need to have a status of what you've provided or what Mintz has in hand or what we're looking for to see if that's even an option. Again, we could add, 15, 18, 20 more things on there, but if we're not getting anywhere with those items that have already been raised, why bother? I mean, we should have an update, at some point in, a month's time, that we'll know if this is going in a good direction or if this is going nowhere. And I think at that point, then we could, always have the door open that we're going to have an opportunity that there are going to be some another comment period that is going to allow that. But, I think anything that's disseminated that's going to go to the town manager that is going to be presented to the board, to the attorneys, the entire board should have access to.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question around that. That is.
No, I just don't know, are we looking for a time or are we looking for a window of time of
Well, that's the problem, is none of this has been defined, and we've put the town manager in kind of a not great situation to go out and solve a problem that we haven't even put a box around. So
I disagree that we haven't solved, we have a direction. There's been concerns raised. We've hired a professional to look at this who's dealt with this situation in the past, understands the concerns that is raised by the board and raised by the residents. He's seen that information. John has handed that information to him, to the firm. He's looking at that and how they're going to be able to incorporate that into an MSA through conversations with Flock. If we can't get to an MSA with that information that we're looking to put in there, that's going to drive where we go. That's going to drive the path.
What is that information, right? What that information that we're looking to put in there, what is that information? That's still one of my largest questions is what are we asking them to negotiate?
Can I interject? Go ahead, Mr. Russo. Go ahead. So, from my perspective, I think Mr. Curran laid out the 5 points. Like any MSA, it's a standard service agreement, a standard contract with some standard terms and conditions, and then other things that we're going to negotiate through the town manager's office, through the chief of police, with the company. And of course, there's a lot of lawyer jargon, I'm sure. But at the end of the day, I guess, you brought up, Mr. Mackey, about new information. I guess I'd like to understand, like, what new information are you referring to that hasn't already come up in either a public hearing, here that we had a couple months ago, or things that you put in your 100-page report? What other new information are you referring to, I guess?
All the logs that we got access to that were requested at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And the fact that those logs, one, are not immutable as they claimed they were. They have been changed by Flock, where they actually went in and changed information and put in notes that they changed it.
Sure.
Which is not how an immutable log works. It proves that there are images are being used or being included in searches for people, which they said could not occur. We have logs from our system that say heavyset man in black hoodie being searched. We have additional searches being done where they said cameras individually cannot be searched. You have to have a search term. That was also disproven. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there was a significant number. So there was a lot because the logs we didn't get until the day of the meeting, I believe it was. And then those had to be sent back because they were not accessible for, I forget the exact reason. So those didn't come out until weeks after we got into.
So that's fair. So I mean, Mr. Chair, I don't know how you feel about this, but my feeling is any information that this board or the town manager's office can provide to help our attorneys negotiate the best arrangement. I agree though, Mr. Kern, like we can't keep changing the goalposts. We can't keep extending that out. At some point you have to put pencils down and say, all right, like we're at the table now and we got to do the best that we can with the information we have. But equally, I don't know. I think that is relevant data. I think that's relevant information. And I don't see why our attorney shouldn't be able to utilize that information to negotiate the best deal that they can on behalf of this town. I don't know. That's my feeling on it.
I mean,
But again, I think, Mr. Ray, like we can't keep saying like, oh, well, next month, new information is coming. So I just don't know, where do we draw that line, right?
Yeah, so that hasn't occurred. There was open requests. We finally got the information. And even in our last meeting, we had a conversation about it where I was like, I want to be able to provide this information. How should we do it? Right? Like I'm asking, trying to collaborate. How would you like to see this information provided so that everyone is on the same page? So in that last meeting we had, I thought the discussion was that the town manager, we couldn't direct it for day-to-day operations, understood, but the town manager was going to be allowed to reach out to me. That he has been giving contradicting direction to that now. So I had to request that this be on the agenda.
There's been no contradiction requested. The board should not get in day-to-day operations. That was clearly stated in our last meeting.
Involved, right?
James, it was clearly stated at the last meeting the board was not getting involved in this. You provided a 100-page document and a bunch of questions that the town manager has gotten. What else do you want to give him? This logbook? Send it to the entire board. This is not James wanting to take over this. This is the entire board is going to get this information. Correct. If that's what you want to provide to us, that's okay. But next week, it's not going to be another log because something else come up, or another log from something happened in Michigan, or another log that happened in Connecticut. We need to come to a point that we have to let the attorneys do their job. And that can't move.
I don't disagree, but you just said like I keep moving the goalpost. I have asked repeatedly when and how I should provide this information. I have not been given a chance.
James,
Excuse me, I let you finish.
We thought you gave it in a 100-page report. We thought you gave it.
Did I allow you to finish? Can I speak now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I asked repeatedly how I should do it in a collaborative manner. Okay? Tried to do that. Then I asked for this meeting to be on this agenda, to which you refused. And I hope you deny that again.
No, I didn't refuse it. I didn't refuse it. The town manager was on vacation. He has a right to be on vacation. And what I said to you, there was no update, and it would be on the next meeting. You didn't like that.
Correct.
You didn't like that, James. So we're here tonight. You got your way. It's on there. You want to get your logs out? Send it to the entire board. But that's it. I said it was not going on the agenda because the town manager has a right to be on vacation.
Hey, guys, can I cut in real quick? Because I've been listening to this back and forth.
I'm going to let the
Can I
speak.
Can I just?
Thank you, yeah.
1 second. I think that, whatever the board decides as far as the process is, but if you have more information, let's get that to that group. That's fine. I think that, because I don't want anything left hanging out there down the road that could come into question. So, but I will say this, extremely impressed with these attorneys, their knowledge, what they do, how they do it. And I recognize, like, I have to check my biases, okay? My bias is public safety, and, I think about victims and victims of crime and solving cases, right? But at the same time, I think, and I credit a lot of this to the town manager and the assistant town manager, they're being very responsible in hiring this firm and doing what we're doing. I don't know anybody that's doing what we're doing. And this is above board. It will continue to be, or I won't be a part of it. And if we find out that they can't meet, and I hear this term negotiation, I don't love that, because I'm not negotiating anything. If they cannot meet what we need, our needs are and our concerns are, we'll move on. So, I get it. It is a negotiation between lawyers, but, I've told our special counsel that if there's any pushback or any issues with Flock, I need to know that, because I won't be happy with that. So, I appreciate their concerns. I've learned a lot throughout this process, and that's what this should be about, right? We learn from each other. We look at things a different way. Maybe we were stuck focused, one way, and hey, maybe we got to look at it another way. So, but we want to go through this process, or have these attorneys go through this process, so that we can be comfortable with this equipment or not and move on. So,
Okay, thank you, Chief. I'll open up to, so, I was going to open it up to the board. Mr. Mackey.
Yeah, so there were a lot of claims and statements just made, and I have tried to be collaborative. I've been requesting. I do not want to move the goalpost. I want to provide a single complete package so everyone is on the same page with what is being asked, what is being negotiated. So we are empowering the chief and our town manager with a direction that we have all agreed on. So the whole, it's not me trying to take over. Explicitly, this was addressed in the last meeting, where the chair himself said he had no problem with that. When the town manager made a joke about he would reach out to me as long as I don't send him a bill. So there was no concern. If something changed after that last meeting, that's fine, but that's why I requested it be on the agenda, is because something was discussed in a meeting. There have been no approved motions on this, other than defeating the motion where I wanted to remove Flock. Understood. I have a different point of view, but this was a consensus for the town manager to do this. That's fine. We're moving in a direction. We do need to be prescriptive in how we do it. We do need to do our due diligence, and we need to make sure that we're being collaborative. This is not about me taking over. Again, I've tried to do the opposite. I have tried to make sure that we are collaborating. So I don't appreciate the attempted slight. And if we're gonna start getting into he said, she said, there are public records that clearly line out what occurred. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
If you have additional information, I would suggest provide it to the board when you provide it to Mr. Curran, so he can get the logs, if you will, to the attorneys. Is that something we can get in the next week's time? So we're not, I just don't want to, as you stated, you don't want to spend money and, we're going to go backwards. Like, if there's something that we have a week's time to get that data to the town manager, would that impact where you are today in the process? Or
the only comment I'll make on that is that a lot of the issues that will be generated from these logs are issues that are already being covered in the information that was presented. So that's why I say the phrase pencils down. I mean, how much information, derivatives, who owns the information, all of these things are central to what you're seeing in those logs. But I would respectfully say that I think probably 90% of those issues are covered in the information that we've already gleaned from the testimony that's taken place, both from Mr. Mackey and from the public. So by all means, provide the logs, but I don't know how much more information of value that's going to provide to the concerns that we already have on the table, because I think they've already been articulated very well by Mr. Mackey and by the people in the audience at that meeting.
Fair enough. Okay.
So I did meet with Mr. Mackey about the new data that came out. He was just sharing information. As Mr. Russo he highlighted to you, there is good stuff on there worth looking at. I actually ran this by John on our one-on-one meeting, just the bullet points of it. And I did let Mr. Mackey know, let him know that what your findings, this way it can be involved in this process. Because I think it's important, and information's information. If we can look at it now, great. As far as it, getting on the agenda, I do think we should review how early we want these type topics on here, because submitting stuff 3 days before, five business days before. So for someone like me, I like to have at least 1 week before. We're going to give the town some time to prepare. So, and I want to encourage people to also communicate with each other on the board. The chairman, and I know the chairman and I call him on all of my any conversations. I can pick up the phone and call him, and he'll pick up. So I want that same type relationship extended to everybody and vice versa. We all have to work like that to communicate with one another, because I think that some of this stuff could be resolved by a phone call. But yeah, I do want to encourage us to, James, if you want to get your information to John, I think that will be great. And if you can get it done sooner, the better. I know you've already worked on this for quite some time, so hopefully it'll be ready soon. And I'm not seeing anything come out after this. I mean, is there anything on the horizon, Mr. Mackey, that you're seeing that might come out for Flock, which could delay our negotiations?
No.
Or discussions?
I
Okay,
have
this
no
is it.
additional information.
Okay, great. So if that's the case, if you can get it to them sooner, the better. That's all to say. Thank you.
So John, I would just to respond to that, so I will say that the select board policy 316 through 319 does address that it has to be in the Thursday before the agenda is set. So that policy does exist and was complied with for me requesting for this to be on the agenda.
Okay, so are we all comfortable with this policy? I mean, do you want to review it? Because is something coming in 3 days before, especially the big packet, I would like some more time.
That's typically the
But if that's what you guys want.
the way the process is.
Okay, all right, then in that case, you're in the right.
Mr. Kratman?
Yeah, I appreciate everyone's perspective on this, and, we're talking about collaboration, but, I haven't seen all the information. I haven't seen everything that the studies were done, all the information was done. There was data collected. I'm reading more about it in the newspaper than I've actually seen in documents that have been submitted. We also need to, Flock's been here for a number of years. So I understand it's a priority to some more than others, but we also have town to run. So the town manager is trying to put down a town budget, trying to figure out what we're doing with, negotiations with all kinds of different parts. We need to allow him to do his job as well. And prioritizing what his schedule isn't something that I think the board should be doing. If we have information, if I've ever had information, and I shared it with the chair would give it to the town manager, or I'd send it with the town manager, and then the town manager then would send it to everybody, so this way we're not violating open meeting law, and we're not having, negotiations behind and having these discussions. So I don't understand, if you have information, why that's changed. Sending information, we've never stopped somebody to send information to the town manager that you want to have. In all the years I've been here, no one's ever been told. When I was the chair, I specifically introduced the town manager and said, I want all board members to have access. We all get voted in. We're going to run the meeting, but all select board members should be able to talk to the town manager at any time, shape, or form. That was stating, I don't dictate his time. And I think he's been more than generous to meet with all board members. I think he has a regular meeting with a lot of select board members, longer than he has with me. And, so all those matters are brought up. So it isn't like he's ignoring or somebody's not getting access to the town manager who's doing these negotiations. So I don't want to make it sound like that, someone's not getting the same access, because that's not true. Everyone's getting the same access to submit the information, but you don't get to dictate what's the priority of the town manager, how to do his job. We got to allow him to do his job. We got to allow him to meet with the police chief. We're giving him something to do. We haven't gotten those answers yet, and then we're throwing more. If we have more information, supply it. Then he can go in, he can get the information and come back to us. But I don't want to see Flock on the meeting every single week when he doesn't have answers to give us. I've gotten nothing more from him today than what I got the last meeting. So, okay, here we are. Like, what information have I got other than you want to submit more information? Submit the information. No one's stopping you. That's my perspective.
Respectfully, I was stopped. The town manager even said he needed direction from the board for how I should submit that information. That has never been an issue before, you are correct. However, something changed between our last meeting when there was discussion about how it was going to move forward, and then him now needing direction from the board for how I can proceed. So something did change. Clearly, a different direction was given outside a public meeting than what was discussed, and that is why we're here tonight, and that's why I requested it be on the agenda in compliance with our select board policies.
I will tell you this, the chair didn't give the town manager any different direction. It was the direction basically in this memo. Am I correct, Mr. Manager? With any information, if there's additional information, my statement was, if it's going to go to the manager and it's going to come to other members of the board. And I've said that all along. So if you can compile that data, send it to the town manager, and then he can send it so we're not violating anything. Send it to the town manager and he can share it as part of you don't want to do it as part of your weekly update because that's a public document, but you can send it. Again, my understanding is we had everything we needed at the last meeting. We all sat in that meeting and discussed the direction we were going. There was at no point did we have you didn't say there was additional data you were waiting for. So I don't know what that data is. So maybe that was the confusion of what information was going to go. But if you have information that you've been waiting for, the logs, as Mr. Russo said, as the chief said, that could be important. But again, also, Mr. Curran said that a lot of that is going to be could be already covered in those questions. I'm sure there's more than 5, may be covered in the MSA.
We didn't know that prior to tonight. We didn't know what was going to be in there prior to tonight, other than a statement. Again, this is at no fault of the town manager that we were going to bring in a firm and they were going to look at it. That's great. My question, which again is on the record repeatedly, is what is the scope? What are we asking them to do? We got some clarification on that tonight, which is great. Okay. Now we have an answer. I will send him my additional information and he will disseminate it. That's fine.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just to clarify the record, I did go back and watch the last meeting just to make sure that, I wasn't losing my mind. But the confusion around what I said you could or could not do is, in that last meeting, I made a statement that, certainly, I had no objection to Mr. Mackey being involved in anything, but then there was a clarification made by the chair that you want equal access for everything, for everyone, and my interpretation of that was, well then, I think that I should get clear direction from the board before I do anything else. Okay. There's a difference between Select Board Member Mackey actually engaging with council than there is that you giving me documents. Giving me documents is fine. You can do that. I don't need clearance from the board for that. No. But if you were to engage with council, be involved in that process, I have a concern that that's involved in the day-to-day business of the town. And second of all, if that's the case, it should be a directive of the board as a whole. And that's what I was trying to articulate throughout this last week.
Okay.
So John, Mr. Chairman, I believe that we pretty much, I don't want, any select board getting involved in the day-to-day operations of the town. I think we need to have the town manager do his job. We hire a town manager to do a job, and we need to do it. We gave him direction of what to go. If there's additional information that's available, that's great. Share the additional information. But while he's doing negotiations, we should not be involved in the negotiations while he's doing his job. We got to let him do his job. We're giving him a clear thing, and we should not be constantly like trying to tell him how to do his job. So.
Thank you. Mr. Mackey.
So John, again, we meet regularly. I wasn't going to open this can of worms, but since you wanted to direct it, when, for I don't know how many meetings now, it's been discussed. That's why I brought it up at the last meeting, to make sure that it was clear and there were no objections on it, about the meeting with council. Now, I understand that is a different item, and you did bring it up. So was that not initially scoped in with what they were, their engagement letter?
What, to meet with you?
Time to meet with select board members.
No, that's not.
That was not in their initial scope?
No. Individually, you mean?
Was there any verbiage in their scoping that included time for select board members?
To meet with, yes, to meet with the board as a whole, but not to meet individually with select board members. And I had asked the board, well, it came up in the last meeting, and I brought it up, and, as I just said previously, the direction I got from that meeting was that there needed to be specific direction from the board if you were going to interact with council.
Correct. Thank you. That's what I wanted on the record. So there was a discussion, there was a direction given outside of public meeting that is different than what was previously discussed. That's all I wanted to make clear. This should not be a knife fight every time to get something on the agenda when there is reason to do so. I have never proposed an agenda item that did not have a reason. This should not have occurred the way it did, and we're detracting from the much more serious issue of actually handling the flock issue and negotiating it and making sure that we're taking care of the community and addressing resident concerns.
Again, I will say the only reason there was any question with this going on the agenda was the fact that Mr. Curran was leaving for vacation, went over the agenda the prior Friday before he left, and there was nothing additional. This could have waited. I did not want to bother the town manager while he was on vacation. That was the only reason. That's why I just said the agenda was closed. I ended up putting on there. It's on. Hopefully your concerns were addressed.
So I've been submitting my questions to John throughout the whole thing. So I guess I'm a bit confused on what's holding us up for getting those questions to John.
As he said at the beginning, he needed clear direction because he was given different direction since our last meeting.
Okay.
He was given different direction. So we needed to have it on the agenda, which is why I initially asked for it to be on the agenda, because, as he said, he's getting conflicting information. There was discussion in a public meeting. The direction should be coming from a public meeting. So that's how the opening statement, that's what I wanted to address, was if there's conflicting direction that's being given by individuals, that's not how this works. It should be done in public session to clarify the record.
I don't think there's conflicting. The only confusion was...
Privilege. I want to correct the record. My direction came out of a public meeting, not out of a private phone call.
Not a private phone call, nor did any time this board ever give direction for you to speak with town council. At no time. My statement was, that shouldn't happen because that is interfering with the day-to-day operations. I said it in a public meeting. I have not had any conversation with the town manager telling him that's where that came out of that meeting. There's been no private conversation, James.
He just said that there was a meeting where he was given that instruction. He just said
I said a public
meeting, this meeting.
Public meeting that you were at, that all of us were at, that was recorded on the record.
I never
that I watched. Last week
That
on
was the meeting,
vacation.
James. I don't recall in that meeting that we said that we were going to allow individual board members to have access to town council. If I'm incorrect there, I watched the meeting.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I am pointing out the fact that there was discussion. We all have individual meetings. That's fine. That's how it's supposed to work. But something changed where I had to request, again, the reason it was on here, the town manager clarified it for us at the beginning. To submit additional information, he needs direction from the board.
No, that's not what I said.
Okay.
I'm going to say this again. I said, if you want to participate in the process with the attorneys, I need direction from the board. I never said that if you want to provide me with information, that you weren't allowed to do that. You're mincing, you're manipulating my words, and I don't appreciate it because it's my reputation, and I take exception to it.
Understood. Well, I guess I repeatedly misheard that.
I will say, if there is information, please provide that information to the town manager so that the entire board can have access to that, so we can see what that is. Thank you. Moving on, any other questions on block MSA?
I've heard enough.
I'm going to move on to board member, Mr. Russo.
I don't even know where to start, but NIMCOG is meeting next Wednesday, so I'll have more for our next meeting. I was away for the last meeting, so I didn't get enough.
Mr. Kratman.
LRTA doesn't meet during the month of August, but we don't have another board meeting before 9/11. I'm working together with the police, fire, veterans, everybody to put together a 9/11 ceremony, which will happen on 9/11. Every fifth year has been the tradition. They do it during the day. We'll have a program put together. We'll have a march from Town Hall in the morning with police, fire, VFW. We'll go to the memorial. This year I met with the superintendent of schools. We're hoping to broadcast it live in the schools and out to the community so that the kids can watch. And there's no kid that's graduating college that was alive during 9/11, believe it or not. So having the kids get a little bit of information in the history of what happened and having a ceremony, I appreciate everybody that's working behind the scenes to help make this happen. And just that's all. And we'll have more information. The town will put it out on the website.
Thank you. Mr. Mackey.
I would just request that a future agenda include the water working sessions. We're going on almost 2 years now of trying to address this problem, and I do not want to be in the same situation the next time we set rates, where we are again asking John to do cocktail napkin math in the meeting. So I would like to get ahead of that problem. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Lombardo.
No new updates.
No updates. I will just let the public know September 12th at 1 p.m. at Ogden Field, Livingston Street. There's a baseball game between the Boston Renegades and Boston Strong, blind softball teams, along with Tewksbury Fire Department. So please go down and support.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Second by Mr. Mackey. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.